doing it.
We're going to go get one and celebrate on somebody else's field.
Matt Jones may take it to the house and the dunk.
Phil said you had very motivational words at halftime.
It's halftime with Phil Olsen and Matt Jones. Produced by Matt Travis.
Hold the rope! Hold the rope! Hold the rope! I'm putting my heart, dog. Let's go, man.
Probably as frustrated as I've been the first half.
Do we believe?
Yes, sir.
Second half, very happy.
Is vintage Matt Jones.
Hold the rope! Hold the rope! Hold the rope! 1, 2, 3! 1, 2, 3! Turn that back,
Call or text on the McClarty Daniel hotline, 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
All right, there we go. Feeling a little bit better at myself. Actually, I've done something right today already after doing something wrong already on our show. Good morning. Welcome into halftime. I'm so excited to get back to work. In all honesty here, I'm so happy to be back on the radio with Matt Travis and Matt Jones. I heard Matty T's smiling face earlier. I see Matt Jones's smiling face right now. I've had a great time. Look, I've had a good time over the last 4 days. Rest and relaxation definitely stands a very important purpose in our lives. But I got to be honest, I don't know what to do with myself half the time when we don't have a radio show to get ready for, or the 3 hours that we're doing it, or games to prepare for, or places to take the kids and parent and all that kind of stuff. I have no idea what to do with myself. It took a couple of days to lean into it. I hope it doesn't take a couple of days to lean back into radio. Appreciate that, Matt. Feeling good. Looking good and feeling good, Billy Ray.
Good.
And I already messed up today, too. Because it feels like a Monday, doesn't it?
It does kind of feel like a Monday.
Yeah, I mean, it's the first day back.
It was a fun Friday show, and then had a good break. Got to go watch some movies. Got to go watch that Asteroid City movie. Got to go watch Indiana Jones movie.
You went and saw Indiana Jones?
Yeah, went and saw it, and it was okay. It made me think of, the Book of Secrets with Nicolas Cage, those type of movies.
Yeah.
National
Treasure.
Treasure movie.
It kind of had that feel
same
to it.
Yeah, I saw that Friday.
It was just something to do.
Didn't blow me away. That's for sure.
Now be careful. No spoilers.
I would never do that.
They made Harrison Ford look like he was 53. I mean, he does not. He looks like he's 56. I mean, he definitely looks like he's under 60.
It should be known, Matthew Travis, when I mentioned no spoilers, I was only talking to the guy sitting across from you because I trust you.
Oh, okay.
Matt has already a couple of times given a spoiler in a movie and not realized it.
Oh, he has managed to give like a twist ending away.
How long ago was this movie though? What's the date?
Well, that's true. There's got to be a statute of limitations.
Exactly.
On this.
It's been 7 years.
You should have seen it by now.
Yeah.
2 weeks is not enough.
Yeah.
So
it just came out.
I'll get your thumbs up or thumbs down rating maybe later on.
Go see Asteroid City though. It was funny. It's like a stage play type of movie, and kind of like, oh, okay, it's just something to do. Like if you're bored, go before 4 and pay $5. Go to the matinee. Go check it out.
And that's interesting because that's Matt Jones' suggestion. I would say that movie's definitely not for everybody.
I
enjoyed
it.
I dug it too, but I could see, a lot of people not feeling it.
Well, this is kind of what summer's about in a lot of cases, right?
Oh, but it was a
summer movie season.
A great time to go to the movies when it's 100 degrees outside and they got the air conditioner going.
Got to find a place that the air conditioning is better than your house.
Had me the big Liquid Death. You take one of those in there with you and get you some popcorn, and man, you're good to go.
If they only sold Liquid Death everywhere,
That just cracks me up. It's funny. It really is.
He brings Topo Chicos into the
you're like
bar.
You're like Kramer bringing in the hot coffee, except you got the cold bubbly beverage. And if you
nobody's
spill it on your
supposed to
leg, no one's going to know. No one will have any idea. You go to lunch, you go to dinner with Matt Jones. He walks in with his own personal beverage. It's a can of bubbly of some kind.
And he doesn't even hesitate.
It's hot.
Well, the other great thing is, I mean, he's got. I'm not giving your strategies away, but he's got strategies of how to get these things inside restaurants. So, don't frisk the guy when he walks in. Pretty please, it won't be received very well. But I've seen this up close. Am I doing a spoiler alert here?
Giving it away.
I'm giving it away.
Yeah.
That's right. See, we've only done 5 minutes of radio in the last 5 days, and I'm already screwed up your complete modus operandi, Matt Jones. That's all right. We'll figure out another way to do it anyway. Well, Well, I mean, that's what July's about, right? You got to find a way to entertain yourself or entertain the kids if that's what you got around you.
You got basketball free agency. You got soccer free agency, which some Americans were on the move. But then it's movie month. I think kind of what you got the Mission Impossible movie coming out. You know, it's kind of something to do.
Well, it's the 2 times of the year that you are looking for something. If you're a parent, you're looking for something to do with the kids. Or if you're just yourself and you don't have work to worry about, you're looking to do something and get out of the house. And it's the Christmas movie time and it's the summer movie time, which is, you know, I guess the 2 biggest times for going to see movies. As far as sports is concerned, there isn't a lot happening in college, obviously. I mean, this is the 1 month out of the year that there are no college competitions. None that I know of. You know, you do have sometimes week 0 for football comes in August. Soccer season for college starts in August.
The last golf major, so you get that in July. You get the British Open.
Well, there's plenty of things going on in pro sports right now.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, Major League Baseball has the All-Star game this weekend. And then the pennant races are really starting to shore up.
Is Shantae's not going to play? Did he got a blister on his hand? Will he be there? Or
Ohtani?
Ohtani, yeah.
It's a good question.
Ashanti.
Yeah,
wasn't that a singer?
Yeah, she was
an
an
R&B singer. Yeah,
I wondered what you meant there. Yeah. Well, I mean, that's part of it too. Mike Trout already out of the All-Star game because of a broken wrist. 3 Angels got hurt over the course of 2 days. They're stars. But yeah, you got the All-Star game this weekend. The pennant races shore up. You get the trading deadline is the end of the month, so it could end up being a pretty interesting month. Well, it always is when it comes to the trading deadline. But since you have the extra layer, the extra team making into the playoffs, there's an extra 3 teams in both leagues that have a little bit more to think about as far as are we buyers or sellers. So these next couple of weeks will help some teams make their decisions as far as that's concerned. The draft is this weekend, so that's something for us to pay attention to with quite a few Razorback baseball players and potential incoming freshmen that are going to be drafted over the course of the 20 rounds.
What's the earliest we could have a Razorback go off the board?
That's enough. You're full of good questions.
Well, I just, you know, we had Anthony Black and Nick Smith first rounders, and we had 3 in the top 40. Or what was Jordan Walsh, like 45 something? So we had like three of the. I didn't know how. And you have LSU had Skeens and their other guy that's going to probably go 1-2.
Well, and now there's even thought that there could be, what's the name of the kid? Max Clark, who's a prep outfielder from Franklin, Indiana, commit to Vanderbilt. That might be the top overall pick. Perfect Game predicted that he will be picked by the. I'm begging the Pirates, my hometown team, don't take a high schooler. Pretty please.
Take Skeens.
Go with Skeens in that case. Apparently, Cruz might not want to sign with Pittsburgh. You know, I don't know. Their money's as green as anybody else. But I guess if I were him, I'd look for a team that cared about winning a little bit more. Maybe things change. Sign the college pitcher then, please. Don't screw this draft up. So there's that. I think if you look at like who's going first, really good question. I wouldn't be surprised if it's
the center fielder.
No, if it's Hunter Holland. There aren't a lot of great left-handed pitching prospects in this draft, from what I read. D1 Baseball actually said yesterday Hunter Holland is the top left-handed pitcher from college available in the draft. So based on the importance of left-handed pitching in that sport and that he's in college and not high school, I don't know. I think Hunter Holland might be the first guy to go. He very well could be, just based on those things. So there's that, the draft. We'll get into some more of that tomorrow. The NBA Summer League got going. Nick Smith, Ricky Council, Jalen Williams made their debuts for the Summer League over the past couple of days. NBA free agency, NBA trades. I guess sometime this month we'll hear Dame Lillard is going somewhere. I guess it's going to be Miami. But that seems to be the drama that is. There's a lot of really interesting trades that have already occurred, but this one seems to be the next one whenever they figure it out.
Yeah, it's such a double-edged sword because you could fall into that Carmelo Anthony deal that happened in Denver and New York where you kind of trade away all your players and assets and then you don't have a bench, but you got to have superstars to win. Miami seems to be able to get some of the veterans to come along and play. No state income tax in Florida. You got that heat culture. So I think you can get – that's the thing, Dames. Nobody wants to go out and play in Portland, but they might come and they want to go play in Miami.
I mean, it's a place that looks like it's got some stability. They had the same coach for like the last, 12, 13 years.
Oh, Coach Spoelstra is the G. Yeah.
It's tough to pull off in that league.
Yeah.
Very
I
tough
like
to pull
him,
off. NFL, kind of a quiet month until training camp by the end of the month. So there's a chance for the NFL players to take their final vacations before the craziness really starts. And for college football, it's talking month. Basically, is what it's all about. You got 5. I've looked at all the calendars for the media days, and you actually have a media day in a week. Big 12 media days are in a week in Arlington. SEC, Big 10, ACC, Pac-12, all going throughout the month, making sure that really there isn't a lot of overlap between these 5 leagues that'll get the bulk of the talking. And, of course, we'll be doing a ton of talking of SEC media days once we get around to it, July 17th through the 20th. And, yeah, I mean, there's a few other things that have come across involving new Arkansas baseball players, transfer portal, things like that. Arkansas football getting a wide receiver commit from Texas, and lots of other things to get to, including a couple of more ESPN personalities that are probably a little closer to the speed of the college football audience that got the cut. Gene Wojciechowski, David Pollack. I think we mentioned Pollack on Friday when the firings became, well, not official, but they started coming out on Twitter. And then Wojciechowski, who's been at ESPN for a long time, really did some great writing and, of course, on-camera work as well, announced himself over the weekend that he was let go by ESPN. So, yeah.
Would he be like the football Adam Schefter? Would he, or are they kind of different?
No.
Yeah.
Wojciechowski is a little more along the lines of like Tom Rinaldi, the human interest stories.
Okay.
Might not make you cry as often as Rinaldi did, but
Yeah.
kind of on that vein.
He always seemed like he had to scoop first, though, kind of like Scheffler. Like he would kind of have some little tidbit or something.
Oh, no, that's a different Woj. That's Adrian Wojnarowski that I think you're bringing. ESPN would fire Adrian Wojnarowski after they fire every shareholder. I think he's probably one of the most important members of their still on-air staff.
Okay.
But this is Gene Wojciechowski, who's been a writer for them for a long time now. But it's a Woj thing, because I think, hey, if your last name starts with a W-O-J, don't you think everybody calls you Woj?
Woj.
Everybody does. What was the name of the Duke basketball player that had that name? He's a coach now. Woj. Still kind of use that name in the headlines as he continues. I think I don't know where he's coaching, but he's been coaching for a number of years now. Also, want to welcome on McClarty Daniel Auto Dealerships onto our hotline sponsorship. Anytime that you call or text our shows, any of them on ESPN Arkansas, Morning Rush, Halftime, Ruskin and Zach, 877-377-6963. It's brought to you by McClarty Daniel. We really appreciate them hopping on with our shows, and we're going to get to know them really well. Any of their 6 locations, you know where they're located, in Springdale or Bentonville. And here's what's up on halftime for this Wednesday. Bill King, easy breezy Wednesday, guys, especially since we haven't done this since Friday, and there's a lot of pent-up verbiage stuck in our heads. Bill King, Nashville Sports Radio, hour number 3. Pig Trail Nation's Alyssa Orange in the second hour, and after this quick break, it's Grant Hall on halftime.
Against the wind, I'm still running against the wind. I'm older now, but still running against the wind.
I tell you what, I know this got a lot of guys with some big hearts. For 3 hours or however long, maybe 4 hours, we're the best team in the country today. And it's offense, defense, and special teams. It's some guys like Darren McFadden, baby. Y'all better put him in the Heisman. You better put him up there. I'm tired of him being number 4.
We got that wood right here, baby.
Somebody better look at this guy's the best football player in the country, and his name's not being mentioned. Lou Holtz, Mark May, number 5. You better look at him a little closer. He's a football player.
ESPN 95.3 and hitthatline.com.
What do you get when you pull into Tony's Tire Service? You get the best selection of tires for any car, truck, or commercial vehicle. Tony's Tire Service has Cooper tires and is ready to serve you to get you back on the road safely. They'll also get your vehicle fixed with brake replacements, plus an alignment with the best repair guy in the area. Tony's Tire Service has been serving the River Valley for over 34 years. Come let our guys replace your tires with Cooper tires and our service department to make sure the vehicle has the best brakes and alignments. Tony's Tire Service, 7200 South 28th Street in Fort Smith. Service you can depend on.
Chuck Barrett here. I know a thing or two about making great calls in Arkansas. And when it comes to your home service needs, make the call to Paschal Air Plumbing and Electric. The friendly pros at Paschal have been serving Arkansas for more than 50 years. And as the weather changes, make sure your system is ready with a Paschal protection plan. Call the pros at Paschal and get a seasonal tune-up, discounted services, and priority scheduling. Paschal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned. Arkansas operated. GoPaschal.com.
Nothing says summer fun like fishing with a Thill Bobber with the family. America's favorite floats by Thill are available in a variety of sizes and colors. These premium balsa wood floats are made by the thousands at Pradco in Fort Smith, Arkansas. They are great at detecting the slightest bites by fish and work great in tandem with crickets and redworms. Available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle shops everywhere. America's favorite floats by Thill.
Are you looking for a change of scenery? Lavorne Lumber is looking to hire a Class A CDL flatbed driver for a regional position. Lavorne Lumber is highly competitive in pay. Lavorne Lumber is a family-owned lumber and trucking company. Home most nights and every single weekend. Guaranteed. Lavorne Lumber has top-of-the-line equipment. If you're interested in the job, stop by Lavorne Lumber at 515 Phoenix Avenue in Fort Smith Monday through Friday from 9 to 4.
Fishing never stops. Make Awake Bait and Tackle is here for all your fishing needs. Starting with the Boss Cat Catfishing Tackle, Catfish Probate Terminal Tackle. Make Awake has Todd Huckabee Ghost Rods, Bobby Garland Baits, then Beaver Bottom Baits by Redneck Rubber for all your crappie fishing trips. Plus a large selection of Daiwa rod reels for the bass fishermen. Make Awake Bait and Tackle, 1 mile east of I-540 on Highway 64 between Van Buren and Alma. And don't forget, get your rod and reels repaired at Make Awake Bait and Tackle.
With Hardee's Double Deals, get a double cheeseburger or bacon double cheeseburger starting at just $2.99. That's double the Hardee goodness with 2 charbroiled patties and cheese. Or double the Hardee goodness with 2 charbroiled patties and cheese and bacon. Both starting at only $2.99. Hardee's, goodness in the making. These items only. Price and participation may vary. Tax not included. Visit restaurant or app for details.
Attention car shoppers. In the market for a new ride? Look no further than Road Chevrolet Van Buren, your trusted destination for great selection and unbeatable prices. We have dozens of new Chevrolets on the way waiting to land in your driveway. Reserve yours today and don't pay 1 penny over MSRP. Have a car to sell? Road Chevrolet wants to buy your car even if you don't buy from us. Getting a hassle-free appraisal only takes a few minutes. Buying or selling a car doesn't have to be a stressful experience when you deal with the pros at Road Chevrolet Van Buren. Prices you'll love, people you can trust.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3. Hey,
People dream high in the quiet of the night. You know that I caught it. Bad, bad boy, shiny toy with a price. You know that I bought it. Killing me slow, out the window. I'm always waiting for you to be waiting below. Devils roll the dice, angels roll their eyes. What doesn't kill me makes me want you more. And it's blue, the shape of your body is blue. The feeling I got in it, it's cool summer. It's cool, that's what I tell them, no rules. Unbreakable heaven, but it's cool summer with you.
Find Halftime on 99.5 in Northwest Arkansas, 95.3 in Fort Smith and the River Valley, 96.3 in Hot Springs and Central Arkansas, 104.3 in Harrison and Mountain Home, and everywhere on hitthatline.com. Join the conversation. Call or text ESPN Arkansas on the McClarty Daniel Hotline, 877-377-6963. Now back to the hosts. Here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Wednesday morning means Grant Hall is on halftime. And I had to look at my day monitor on the computer again because the original tweet I put out for our show today said Monday. Because, I mean, let's be honest, it feels like a Monday. And then all of a sudden I thought, well, it was every Tuesday we talk with Grant Hall. No, that's wrong. It's Wednesdays that we talk with Grant Hall. So I can start to regenerate my show clock here. Grant, good morning. It's Wednesday. And now that you're here, that's what tells me it's Wednesday.
Well, how you doing? Yeah, I'm watching this. Matt Djokovic is playing at Wimbledon, and for the first time, Chris Evert is getting to commentate on one of his matches. So that's kind of interesting. And you were asking me earlier what I do in the summer. I enjoy watching Wimbledon. I enjoy watching the Tour de France, mainly for the views. I mean, it's just so incredibly beautiful there. I was watching today. The great hill climbs, and it's just so green over there. And I got to be in France one time, and so it kind of intrigues me, though I know almost nothing about the sport.
Grant, you see a fireworks show last night? Are you a firework guy?
We did. All we have to do is walk about 300 yards down the street to Fayetteville Country Club, and they had a great one. Theirs has gotten better and better each year, and those things go amazingly far distances into the sky now with all the technology they have on fireworks. So there must have been, 750,000 people there. And someone was joking that I think Channel 5 last night said anybody could come and watch this. So it was a community thing. It wasn't just Fayetteville Country Club members that could do it, I guess. And they enjoyed it. It was fun.
I set my first fireworks off last night. First time ever, age 46. Felt good about it.
And survived it.
Survived.
Was
That's
it a
right.
Roman candle or a little Twizzler? What
I don't remember what this thing was called, but it was a big finish kind of a one. I think it shot up 46 different fireworks.
Wow!
I ran a little faster than I thought I could, but it was fun. Now look, Grant, I've seen, countless fireworks shows. Living in minor league baseball for 20 years, it's not just July 4th. Some teams do fireworks every single Friday. It's just a thing. You get tired of it. I don't see fireworks as much any longer. So I was actually pretty excited about it last night in the backyard over at Jen's brother's house, and it was kind of cool. And it was the first time I ever felt like I was in the fireworks. They were
we got to see. Yeah, we got to see one at Forest Park one time in St. Louis, which has all the history, and we played golf there. And there were masses of people, and got to see the one in Washington, D.C. one time. I actually watched a little bit of it on TV last night. It was great. Chicago was there. I still love those guys are long in the tooth, but they're still pretty good.
Oh, they're still good. Absolutely. You mentioned Wimbledon. I used to really love watching Wimbledon back when it was on HBO, and I did spend some time in the summer watching tennis, and Wimbledon was always my favorite to watch, that and the U.S. Open. And I read where I didn't realize Djokovic is coached by Goran Ivanisevic, who was one of my favorite back in the day, because he was that guy that, didn't he serve like 115, 120 miles an hour, big lefty out of Croatia? But the aces, I also read, aces are kind of becoming a little bit more scarce than they were before. I guess the composition of the grass courts is different than they were before.
Yeah, unlike baseball, where more and more it seems to be all about power and home runs. And you were asking earlier about the Arkansas team and the draft and who might make it to Major League Baseball. I was thinking about that. And you saw more than I did, Phil, this year. But would you think Wagner would be in that conversation? Would Borfin be in there? I even think McIntyre, with the control he has shown lately, might be a guy. What do you think about the guys on this Arkansas team?
I think Wagner's got major league tools. I don't know where you're going to go in the draft just because of his age. Borfin's got a major league hit tool. It's just the ups and the downs are a little bit too big sometimes. I look at Jackson Wiggins. If he's healthy, and whoever drafts him is still going to have to wait quite a while for him to throw, because his surgery would have been, I guess it's late January, very early February. So whomever drafts him will have to wait at least, another 7-8 months before he's really pitching at all off of a mound. So there'll be patience with him. But I know there is definitely something in Jackson Wiggins' arm that's 100 miles an hour, and if he gets anywhere close to that again, he's got a major league arm. And I do think Hunter Holland has that stuff to pitch in the big leagues too.
Dave Van Horn said, I heard him the other night say that he didn't know about Hayden Miller or Walker Martin, I guess. And then what do we think about Caleb Cali? Is he going to be back, or is he going to go out?
My sense is Cali returns. That's through no conversation with him or anybody that's looking at him from major league teams. It's just this isn't anything against Cali. There are a lot of power-hitting right-handed hitters who play third base, and he's one of them. I'm not sure if there's a thing that makes him stand out amongst the others. I do like how he goes the other way. He's a line-to-line hitter, really smart hitter, and takes advantage of counts. But there's something in Cali that makes me think he's going to return for Arkansas this year, which will create some interesting things going on with some of the players they've brought in. But I think if he does return, he should be your everyday third baseman. But yeah, as far as those high schoolers are concerned, I think they brought in. What's the kid's name? Wahiwa Aloy from Sacramento State, with the knowledge that the kids that they've signed, I think there are 3 high schoolers that have signed that are shortstops. I'd be surprised if any of them make it through and don't sign a contract. I think that's, look, you sign a kid like Aloy, not as an insurance policy, be like, well, this kid will be our shortstop if none of these kids make it here. No, you sign him to be your shortstop. So I think in the coaches' minds, they're just preparing for what they might feel is the obvious thing to happen, which is their high schoolers don't make it through.
Well, Dave's not wild about the timing. You could tell, they'd like to see this thing be done, a couple of weeks earlier and give the college coaches a chance to know what they're up against and start preparing.
Yeah, that's for sure. And if there's one thing I'd like to fix it, and it wouldn't be college baseball that has to fix it, although the one thing that college baseball could do, and they've talked about it, is move the season up. Start it a month later, and that would kind of help. That would help the coaches with getting their teams ready and know how the roster looks, because I don't see Major League Baseball ever moving their draft back to where it was before. They like where it is now. So if the college coaches want to do something about it, I think the only thing they can do is move the season up a month. I had to ask you about this statement from Tiger Woods. It just seemed to throw – now, I don't have the statement right in front of me. Matt, maybe you saw this. Woods basically – remember Monahan, the PGA commissioner, the tour commissioner, said that there was a whole meeting at the Travelers Championship, and Woods was there, and Woods apparently gave a statement supporting Monahan as the guy to be the commissioner. And then Tiger Woods comes out over the weekend on Twitter with a very short statement that said that's the first time he ever saw this memo that had the talking points, and he was not at the Travelers Championship. So, Grant, golf is it threw the whole sport back on its head once again.
Yeah, I had a long discussion with a guy that's fairly connected in the golf industry a few minutes ago, and to me, that 35-word statement said, "I'm still here." It could have been 3 words, "I'm still here." Tiger, even though he rarely plays anymore, still moves the needle. He probably is the needle in terms of he could probably go get 3 sorority house mothers, play an exhibition, and get better ratings than most of these majors. So I think that's still true. Plus, he's got Charlie, who I think is going to be a great player, and so he's going to stay connected to the game. And I even think that Tiger might play some Tour Champions golf. You can take golf carts on that tour, and he's got too much pride to do it before then. But a lot of people thought he would, that would be the last thing he would do is play senior golf. But who knows?
You got to be 50 for that.
Yeah, you got to be. So he's
47
2 years and 4 months away. Yeah. And so Longer's won 46 times. Maybe that got his attention. I don't think Tiger would play that much. I think he might kind of do like Jack Nicklaus did and just play mostly the senior majors, enough to kind of keep his name out there. And that's kind of how I read the statement. I still matter in this game, and pay attention to what you do.
I did see that where Longer won. He kind of ran away. Did you see Ricky won over the weekend as well? And it was a 4.5-year drought for him. He had to come back, take the long way back.
Everybody loves Ricky Fowler, and he's probably congratulated 10 other guys that won majors, and he still hasn't. But he's been struggling, and Butch Harmon has really helped him. He had gotten so laid off back there, Matt. It was like his swing had gotten so flat, and every now and then he still does it. But he's such a great putter. And he seems to have that confidence now that, Butch Harmon's kind of the golf whisperer. So he's been playing really well.
I like Ricky around the greens. Yeah, his confidence when he be short-sighted, whatever, he always thinks he's going to be able to get up and down. And you're right, he is a great putter. Will you watch any of this NBA Summer League? And if you do, what do you want to see out of some of these Arkansas guys in the Summer League?
Very little of that, Matt. Mostly because I like to watch a lot of baseball in the summer still, and golf, obviously. Like, for example, this week, U.S. Women's Open is at Pebble Beach, and Brooke Matthews qualified. She's from Rogers. She did not retain her card last year, but she qualified into the U.S. Women's Open. And Fosse and I think Lopez, and I don't think Stacey Lewis is in it. But that's going to be interesting to watch them play at Pebble Beach and see what Michelle Wee can do in kind of her swan song. She's playing one more time, this week. But yeah, I saw some footage of Nick Smith and some of the guys. What's your thought, Matt? I mean, how good can Nick Smith be the first year in the NBA coming off his injury? Now,
Michelle Wee has one major win. Is that right?
Yeah, she won the U.S. Open at Pinehurst. I was there in 2014. Yeah,
that's right. I think Nick Smith. It's all about his knee. He's going to be a guy that he's going to have to get stronger. And this first year, I don't think. I mean, they're a young team. The thing is, Brandon Miller, I think the Hornets were like the worst team in the league, them and the Magic. So Anthony Black, and so he's going to get some opportunity. My whole thing is the dude can play. It's just, is he going to be healthy?
Yeah, and that might be a good situation for him. As bad as they are, maybe the expectations aren't that high on the individual guys. I mean, Michael Jordan, I guess, finally had to sell the rest of that team, right?
Mm-hmm. Grant, last thing, and I heard you say you're watching baseball these days. You watching a lot of Cardinals games? Because that's a tough watch, especially. I saw Wainwright. I was listening yesterday, and it was before things really got out of hand, which happened early, obviously. And I saw where was it? Wainwright, last 3 starts, Cardinals have been outscored 38-3, and he's gone on the injured list.
He went on the IL after the game last night and said he's been dealing with back pain, shoulder pain. I mean, he had to make a big deal about it, but his curveball just doesn't have that bite that it usually has, and he gave up 4 earned runs, I think, last night. But as Al Robosky said, they've now hit rock bottom, so it can't get any worse, or maybe it can.
Yes, it can.
I mean, they're 35-50 with not much. They just don't have the pitching this year. I don't think it's a fairly good hitting lineup, but this is an amazing stat, Phil. I heard the other day that the Cardinals lead at least the division, maybe the league, in innings pitched by starters. And that just doesn't seem right to me, but I guess it is. But, like, they played that bullpen game, though. The Yankees had a bullpen game, and every one of those guys looked like world beaters to me. So, maybe that's becoming more and more the thing in baseball.
Maybe they need to start relievers, Grant, because starting starters isn't working very well for them. My gosh.
8-17 in one-run games, and they've blown 26 leads this year. If they'd have won half those games, they'd be in good shape. So there you go.
Grant, appreciate you, man. Thank you so much. It's always good talking with you.
Thanks, guys. See ya.
Thanks, Grant.
Robosky says it can't get any worse.
It's
halfway through the season, Al. Yes, it can get a lot worse. See what happens in the middle of August. Goodness gracious.
That Nick Smith pick, if he's healthy, that could be Jordan's best pick. I mean, getting him 27th in the first round, a guy that was going to be a top 10 pick, and it's just kind of based on his health.
At some point, he's going to be healthy.
That's right.
Sooner or later, he's going to be healthy. We've got an open segment. Our McClarty Daniel hotline, 877-377-6963 for calls and texts. See all of their inventory at McClartyDaniel.com, and halftime is right back.
Home is everything. It's your sanctuary, your command center, your music room, and your art studio. It's where you eat family dinners and make lasting memories. When you use a Weichert agent to help you find your home, we'll help you find the space to make it yours. When you begin your search, know that a Weichert agent will be there with you every step of the way. Because at Weichert Realtors, we guide you home. To get started, call your local Weichert agent and look for our bright yellow signs all over town. At Weichert Realtors, we sell more because we do more. Each Weichert franchised office is independently owned and operated.
Switch to Boost Mobile and get the ultra smooth, ultra powerful iPhone 11 for $49.99.
He didn't stutter.
See every angle with dual cameras.
Make it a double.
All on America's largest 5G networks.
Large and in charge, baby.
Get with the power of Boost and get the iPhone 11 for $49.99.
That's half of Benjamin.
Boost Mobile.
Unleash your power.
ID verification required. New customers only at one per line. Additional restrictions apply. See boostmobile.com for details.
This is halftime.
Hey River Valley, this is Caleb DeWitt with Carco Auto Sales. As many of you know, parts of Fort Smith and Van Buren were recently affected by a hailstorm, and our lot was no exception. Our inventory may have received minor hail damage, but with that comes a major discount. Choose from late model cars, trucks, vans, and SUVs, all with thousands off the original price tag. Make the short drive to 2810 Midland Boulevard in Fort Smith or visit us online at www.buyfromcarco.com.
Hi, this is Melissa Vitale, owner of True Grit Running Company. Your young athlete deserves the best when it comes to footwear. After all, it's good to start early so they don't have problems in the future. We've got options for training, cross-country, gym class, and more. Our well-trained staff can guide your student athlete through our personalized fit process to help find that True Grit fit. And for our cross-country kids, we offer a 10% discount off of your total purchase. Visit our store in Fort Smith, located behind Chick-fil-A.
Whether you're opening your first checking account, purchasing your first home, saving for your first big vacation, or opening a new business, First Star Bank offers hometown service with the latest in digital banking technology. Our local team makes banking fast, convenient, and easy. From simple everyday banking to helping you fulfill your dreams, our team is here to guide you every step of the way. First Star Bank. We'll be there through all your firsts. Learn more at firststar.bank or stop by one of our local branches today. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Arkansas Glass and Mirror Company has been serving the glass and glazing needs of Fort Smith, Northwest Arkansas, and Eastern Oklahoma since 1964. That's over 50 years of commercial and residential services from their 2 locations on Zero Street in Fort Smith. Arkansas Glass and Mirror offers custom cut tub and shower enclosures, mirrors, plexiglass, Lexan, window glass, and plate glass. Whether commercial entry doors or home glass projects, remember Arkansas Glass and Mirror. Online at arkansasglassandmirror.com or give them a call, 646-4300.
At Lowe's, we're always bringing pros more ways to save. Right now, save $100 when you buy the Flex 24-volt brushless impact driver kit for just $99. That's 50% off the original price. Plus, you'll also find Southwire Romex Simpole 250-foot wire for just $109. Lowe's knows savings. Lowe's knows pros. Valid through 7/20 while supplies last.
Hi folks, Larry Rath here for Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, where all we do is keep you rolling. If you're replacing a car, selling a car, repairing a car, or anything else automotive, we've got you. Plus, follow us on Facebook to enter our Winning and Grinning Give-A-Palooza. It's fun and it's free with great prizes. Think of us next time you have any automotive need and see why all the happiest drivers are rolling with Rath. Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, just north of Phoenix on Towson, Fort Smith.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Want to jump in the conversation? Call or text ESPN Arkansas on the McClarty Daniel hotline, 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
You know, driving around a couple of the neighborhoods yesterday, there was a bit of smoke in the air, and I thought, well, is this the smoke coming in from Canadian fires? A little bit of that has reached our state, just a little bit, where you could smell it. Remember a couple weeks ago, I thought maybe it was fireworks smoke. No, you know what it was? Burger smoke all around the neighborhood. You could tell by the smell. Fireworks, smoke out of forest fires from thousands of miles away. Smell considerably worse than burger smoke. So that was a great thing to smell yesterday.
That's the July 4th food, right? The burger and hot dog.
Burgers, dogs. We did wings and ribs last night, which I guess it's got to be some sort of meat or meat substitute, I think.
Yeah.
That's my guess.
A wiener Twinkie sandwich?
Something like that would work too, yes. And then puke it up. But get over to CJ's Butcher Boy Burgers if you hadn't had enough burgers over the weekend. You probably didn't, especially because no matter what it is that you did at home, it's not going to be as good as CJ's Butcher Boy Burgers.
Find out how it's really done.
That's exactly right. Matty T knows that for a fact. They're the best burgers, the best fries, and the best shakes anywhere in the state of Arkansas. And even if you love your burgers, you know that the fries over at CJ's are better than the ones you make too. Probably the shakes as well. I don't know what your shakes are like at home. 2 locations, Russellville at the Arkansas Avenue exit, Fayetteville right off the Weddington Road exit. And when all you do are burgers, they have to be the best.
Once when I walked out of the room, Matt Jones goes, "You got a burger to go with that shake?" But I don't think he was talking about the same thing.
You putting bourbon in that shake?
Bruce in Nashville says, "Don't forget chicken." Bruce, I said meat. Any kind of meat or meat substitute. Chicken would qualify in that category. We'll go to the McClarty Daniel hotline, 877-377-6963. Wade. Hi, Wade. How you doing, man? Been a while.
Hey.
You feeling better?
It's been a while. Phil, Matt, Matty, I'm doing better. I'm doing quite a bit better.
You sound better.
And I appreciate you asking. And but I was thinking about the NBA, the way things are going, and I have a lot of respect for Damian Lillard. And he has hung in there with the Portland Trailblazers for 11 years. 11 years. And I requested a song to Maddie about running against the wind. And Damian Lillard has been running against the wind and not going anywhere. And I say bravo to Damian Lillard for wanting to get out. I don't blame him. And I look at all these other players, and I don't mean any disrespect to Kevin Durant, any of these guys, but Damian Lillard has hung in there tough, and I respect the guy, and I think he's finally, and he's so talented.
He's kind of got that Allen Iverson, Carmelo Anthony feel to him, though. Like he might not ever win one, Like nobody doubts Carmelo or AI, but it might be tough for him to get a ring.
What I've been reading, though, Wade, is that he's constantly putting it in terms that I want to play here, but only if they're going to do things a very specific way, which they're not going to do it that way right now in Portland. So that's why he's demanding a trade. And
but
I don't know. I mean, it reminds me a little bit of Drexler. You remember Drexler played all those years?
He finally got one at Houston.
Finally got one with Houston after being the cornerstone of the franchise for 11 years.
Glide.
Yeah, and anyway, these other guys, I can't talk about Kyrie Irving. I mean, Kyrie Irving.
Oh, he just re-upped, didn't he, for 136, 4 years, I think?
Wade, if you can't talk about Kyrie Irving, then don't. I'm okay with it.
Martin Luther
anyway,
Kyrie.
Another thing I want to comment about is, okay, Phil, you're going to listen to me about this, but I'm going to have to brag about the Giants a little bit. I know they got they're on a tightrope as far as getting to the playoffs, but I'm really impressed with that Patrick Bailey, their catcher. I mean, he is. I don't know. He's got a little ways to go to beat Buster Posey as catcher, but he's been pretty impressive. And anyway, what are your thoughts on that, Phil?
Well, I don't know Bailey all that well. I just know Buster Posey is borderline Hall of Famer. So he's going to have a long way to go. But you got to have a good catcher if you're gonna have a chance to win in the major leagues. And I guess they got a pretty good thing there going with Sable and Bailey together. And they were right in the thick of things too. I mean, 4 games out in the West, looking good in the wild card. So that West division's kind of tough. Sooner or later, maybe the Padres figure it out, or I don't know, maybe they don't, because they can spend all the money in the world, but they still can't win games.
Yeah, yeah, that's right. About like the New York Mets.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, it's very true. Mets are terrible. I love it. I love every bit of it. I hope it stays. I hope they get worse.
I do too.
If it wasn't for the Nationals, the Mets would be in last place. They got to thank goodness for the Nationals.
Yeah,
Wade,
that's amazing.
Wade, appreciate your phone call, man. It is really good to hear from you, and I hope.
Well, thank you, Phil. It's nice to hear from you guys, and you guys take care. And I hope you had a great 4.
Good, thanks. You too. Yeah, it's been a minute since we'd heard from Wade, so that's good to hear from him. Yeah, the Giants. I mean, right now, the Giants are a team that probably would look at themselves right now as a buyer. I mean, if you have a record that's 6 games over 500 at the midway point of the season, and there's 7 teams that make the postseason, and you are the 4th team right now out of those 7, then you are definitely a buyer. You're going to feel the same. It's unfortunate, like the Pirates, they're in one of these positions where I don't know if they know whether to buy or sell. You know, they're close, not quite there. But a team like the St. Louis Cardinals, is it time to maybe unload some of the better hitters on that team and try to do something about getting some positive momentum for next year? Because no matter what happens with the St. Louis Cardinals, the best they can be is mediocre right now, and that's not a franchise that will accept mediocrity. I'm not saying they got to tear it all down and start over, but I would be surprised if the Cardinals don't make a couple of really big moves in seller mode this month. Let's step aside for a break. We'll wrap up hour number 1 right after this.
Meadows Lumber True Value for great bargains of the month. A 2-pack of 16-pound original charcoal by Kingsford is only $19.88. Right now, a 3x5 cotton American flag by Annan is just $15.99. Complete your outdoor patio set with a Four Seasons courtyard, sunny aisles, extra large, zero gravity chair for $59.99. A 108-piece mechanics tool and socket set is $89.99. A 10-piece screwdriver set by DeWalt is just $19.99. Don't miss out. Get these bargains of the month while supplies last. Meadows Lumber True Value.
With over 40 years combined experience, the team at the law offices of Craig L. Cook understand the definition of work. Real work. Working for you. Whether you've been injured in an auto accident, on the job, a victim of nursing home negligence, or need help navigating bankruptcy, Social Security, wills, trusts, estates, or family law issues, Craig Cook will go to work for you. Call us today, 479-783-8000. The law offices of Craig L. Cook, with locations in Arkansas and Oklahoma. We work for working people.
With over 8,000 square feet of all the latest trends in lighting and plumbing fixtures, Great House Fixtures has all the brands you know and love, such as Visual Comfort Lighting and Delta Faucets. Their experienced staff can help you design and select the perfect fixtures for your uniquely you home, including sinks, tubs, faucets, custom showers, indoor and outdoor lighting, chandeliers, mirrors, hardware, and more. Make your house a great house. Learn more at greathousefixtures.com, located on 0th Street in Fort Smith. Great House Fixtures by J&B Supply.
Summer is finally here. Come check out Kofer's Boat Center's huge selection of boats with the best incentives in years. Kofer's experienced professionals will answer all your boating questions, and their award-winning customer service with Mercury, Malibu, Lowe, Caymas, and Garmin will keep your boat in peak condition. Kofer's also has a fully stocked pro shop and updated RV and boat storage facilities. Find Kofer's online at Kofers.com. That's Kophers.com. Kofer's Boat Center, your authorized Mercury dealer, helping their customers create a lifetime of memories for over 50 years.
I want barbecue that's sliced thick, smoked long, and so tender it melts in your mouth. Sides that will fill me up like a twice-baked potato, baked beans, hand-cut fries, okra, Texas toast. You know what I'm talking about. A restaurant where the whole family can go and get a great meal for a great price. Where the owner actually comes to your table to make sure everything tastes great. I'll tell you what I want. I want Jerry Neal's.
Hey, Ty Richardson for A Cut Above Lawn and Landscaping. They service commercial and residential lawns for weed management and fertilization for a lush, healthy lawn. Need bush hogging? They do that too. A Cut Above can make that driveway and fence look brand new with a good power washing. You don't have to put up with those unwanted pests either. Call today and get started with the flea, tick, and mosquito treatment to start enjoying the outdoors again. More than just a mowing service. They're A Cut Above. Call or text today at 479-719-5605. Lawn, landscaping, power washing, stump grinding, leaf removal, mulching, flea, tick, and mosquito control. 719-5605.
I'm Rachel Ray, and I'm a realtor. You hear realtor ads every day, so what makes me different? My focus is on what's most important to me, and that's family. Anyone can sell you a house, but my goal is to sell you a home where you can make memories that last a lifetime. Check out my website at rachelraynwa.com. Connecting families with homes in Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley. Come home with me.
Now everything is easy 'cause of you.
At Dobson Fiber, we're helping you build stronger connections by bringing the fastest internet network available to your business. Why fiber? Fiber internet provides reliable, symmetrical, blazing speeds. Without any interruptions or buffering, you can rely on Dobson for all your data needs. With Dobson Fiber as your premium internet provider, you can focus on the things that matter and the connections you build. To see if fiber is available to you, visit Dobson.net. Dobson Fiber, building stronger connections.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Make sure to follow Halftime on Twitter at HitThatLineAR and on Facebook and Instagram at HitThatLine. Call or text ESPN Arkansas on the McClarty Daniel Hotline, 877-377-6963. Now back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Adam from Wynn texted in on the McClarty Daniel hotline asking about Arkansas getting Missouri outfielders. You've got a couple of them now. Of course, Ty Wilmsmeyer transferred into Arkansas, I think it was 2-3 weeks ago. And now Ross Lovich becomes the second former Missouri outfielder to commit to Arkansas. He is a right-handed hitter. Lovich will be the seventh commit to transfer in to Arkansas. Looked like he had a good season last year that was kind of derailed because of an injury. Missed quite a bit of time right in the middle of the year with an injury that I'm not exactly sure what it is, but he hit .306, had a decent on-base percentage, showed some pop, hit for the cycle once, has some speed. So, yeah, I mean, Missouri's not a good baseball program, but that doesn't mean – and first of all, that's in comparison to the rest of the SEC. Mizzou against a lot of the other programs across the country is going to be good. But they still have good ball players, and I know Wilmsmeyer, I'd expect he's going to be one of Arkansas's everyday outfielders, probably the center fielder. Lovich, again, you don't play 3 years in the SEC, get into over 101 games, and then and then come in here not expecting to have a chance to play every game. So that's a couple of Arkansas outfielders coming in. Now you got seven transfers that have announced they're coming into Arkansas. I wonder if you get 7 guys drafted. There's a decent chance of that. I'm looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm looking at 6 Razorbacks that I think
What's the
get
number?
drafted.
How many people can be on roster with the scholarship being different? But how many people can be on the baseball roster? 25?
No. They travel at 27. They'll put 40 on the roster.
40?
But it doesn't
Okay.
have 40 available for the entire season.
So we're adding some depth. We might not be getting 7 starters, but we're getting people that can play and can push for playing time.
I still say when you're bringing in these guys who have started elsewhere, they're coming in here to play. Like this Jack Wagner, the Tarleton State first baseman, he's not coming in here. You come in here to compete. I would say you come in here to start every game. What you do is you come in with a chance to compete in the fall and see how you stack up against everybody else. But the guys that are older, that have a track record, they know what college ball is all about. So, that's one of the things about the portal I like. You used to look at a baseball team in college, and not just in baseball, it's every sport, and you would project out 2, 3 years in a lot of cases. I just don't know if you can do that any longer.
It's all 1 year one-offs now. Yeah.
I mean,
the turnover is just outrageous nowadays.
Well, look at a Reese Robinette, the big country, the kid that hit the pinch hit home run in the 10th inning against LSU, and that was his big moment of the year. That's somebody you would look at and say, yeah, he can turn into this given the opportunity. And maybe back in the day before the portal was really a thing, he would have had a chance maybe to grow into that role because he would have been the next one in line. Now you create the next one in line in so many cases. So Reese has someone to compete against, and it's somebody that's a lot more difficult to compete against than it might have been years before, because he's going up against a guy in Jack Wagner for first base who's got 4 years of college already behind him and was really good last year, albeit at a lower level of college ball. All right, get it with us on the McClarty Daniel hotline, 877-377-6963, and halftime is right back after this.
Frank Rowe Furniture is your family-owned furniture, appliance, and electronics store. We have been servicing the area for 38 years with quality products and service after the sale. Frank Rowe Furniture offers a no-pressure sales atmosphere where you can actually enjoy shopping for your furniture. We also offer in-store, no-credit check financing. Don't wait weeks to be able to take your furniture you purchase home. Stop by and we will load you up today. Family-owned, service after the sale, and no-credit check financing. Frank Rowe Furniture, 405 4th Street, Barling, Arkansas. Best seats in the house.
What makes a meal magical? Maybe it's coming home to smiling faces and the aroma of the grill. Maybe magic is the moment you finally get the secret ingredient to Mom's signature mac and cheese. Who knows, magic might just be as simple as meeting up with a friend to share a number 2 with fries and extra ketchup. One thing's for certain, magic shouldn't be hard because it's everywhere. All it takes is mixing the right ingredients, good company, great food, and ice-cold Coca-Cola. And then, voila! You'll have a recipe for magic.
Today is the day. After countless hours of research, cutting back expenses, and 9 months of anxiously waiting for her, today is the day you finally bring home your new car. It's also the day to protect her with an auto policy from Shelter Insurance. Our policies are competitively priced and include new car replacement coverage if anything were to happen to your new baby.
Call Jeff Clark in Fort Smith or Brad Howell in Van Buren.
You don't want to see cracks in your pipes or your plumber. Let Westgarth Plumbing get you right for the summer. We tuck in our shirts and work, we're experts. So if things don't blow your way, we can get it to work. Say no to cracking, we'll give you 20 back. 646-5151. Looking for a plumber, call a nail, give you one. 646-5151. Looking for a plumber, call a nail, give you one. Say no to crack and get 20 back, yeah. Westgarth Plumbing, expert drain clean service. Say no to crack and get 20 back, yeah.
The spring allergy and hay fever seasons are here, and Law's Drugstore has what you need to safely take care of you and your family. Law's Drugstore can fill and refill your prescriptions, and they have all of the over-the-counter allergy remedies to provide comfort. Call 452-6116 and ask about vaccine shot appointment for shingles, pneumonia, COVID, and whooping cough. Law's Drugstore, 6802 Rogers Avenue behind the Outback Steakhouse. Law's Drugstore, open 6 days a week to safely care for you and your family.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, we are looking at sunny skies, a chance of seeing some scattered showers and thunderstorms. Our high temperatures in the lower 90s. Tonight, cloudy skies, 50-50 chance of showers and storms. Our high will be in the upper 60s to near 70. And then another chance of showers and scattered thunderstorms for Thursday. Our high will be in the low 80s. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Carco Auto Sales. Give them a call at 783-1722 or check them out online at buyfromcarco.com.
KERX Paris Fort Smith. The Bud Light Countdown is on. Arkansas football begins in 59 days.
Broadcasting on ESPN Arkansas and streaming on hitthatline.com.
We got a good one tonight. You got a team in here that doesn't respect you.
Live from the Busch Light Studios.
Don't ask me if I'm all right. Joaquin said dominate, and we not doing it.
We're going to go get one and celebrate on somebody else's field.
Matt Jones may take it to the house and the dunk.
You both said you had very motivational words at halftime.
It's halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Produced by Matt Travis.
Hold the rope! Hold the rope! Hold the rope! I'm putting my heart, dog. Let's go, man!
Probably as frustrated as I've been the first half.
Do we believe?
Second half, very happy.
Is vintage Matt Jones. Hold the rope! Hold the rope! Hold the rope! On three! 1, 2, 3! Turn that down,
Call or text on the McClarty Daniel hotline, 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Getting into our second hour of halftime on ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com. I'm Phil Elson, Matt Jones, Matt Travis alongside. Got you for the next couple of hours. And our calls and texts on the McClarty Daniel hotline at 877-377-6963. You can see all of their inventory at McClartyDaniel.com. That's any of the inventory at their 6 locations in Springdale and Bentonville. We'll be talking with Alyssa Orange from Pig Trail Nation in about 15 minutes. And we got Brian in Ozark that's on hold with us. So let's go to the McClarty Daniel hotline. And here is Brian. Hi, Brian. What aspect? Good, thank you. What aspect of the Texas Longhorns do you want to discuss today?
Oh, the number one sport, football, of course. But my question is, I'm really trying to get on board with Arkansas. Okay, because I grew up here.
That? Are you now, Brian? You've called this show a number of times over the last couple of months. You had very positive things to say about baseball. So I'm willing to believe what you're saying, that you're really trying.
Let me say this. I grew up loving Arkansas. I loved watching Matt Jones. I actually worked with his sisters at Chili's in Fort Smith back in the day. So we used to talk about Matt and Arkansas all the time. I loved Arkansas back then. I loved Quinn Grovey more than anything, So Quinn and Matt were my 2 favorite quarterbacks of Arkansas. And I loved watching them guys all the time. I was a diehard Razorback fan until kind of the bottom dropped of the program. And I didn't understand that. And, over the years I've realized, the recruiting at Arkansas could be a whole lot better if they had a top-tier coach. Sam Pittman is not that. He's a mediocre coach. And the reason I say that is he's in, year 4 or 5 now?
This next year is going to be year number 4.
Okay. Well, Arkansas could be an elite school as they used to be. And this is how. I've watched this, for instance, Texas is my team. Look at what Coach Sark is doing. He's getting the top talent out of all states, not just Texas. He's going to Arizona, Florida, Georgia, Alabama. You name it, he's doing it. But he's a winning coach. Arkansas should be the same way. And really, I think the fans of Arkansas.
Where exactly has Sark won as a head coach to earn that moniker?
Well, look at the quarterbacks that he's put in the NFL.
No, you said a winning coach. This isn't Brian. This isn't about the quarterbacks. What about Steve Sarkisian makes him a winning coach?
Well, look what he did at Alabama. Even
he's
Nick
not
Saban
the head coach at
will say
Alabama.
He's the best.
I mean, yeah, he's not the head coach at Alabama. He has a 56% career winning percentage. He's never been the head coach at Alabama. He's been fired once for being drunk.
A head coach is only as good as your assistant coaches, right? I mean,
a head coach hires the assistant coaches, Brian. Therefore, he's responsible for what they do. Okay. You're just making excuses for Steve Sarkisian. I can get him about being a good quarterbacks coach, somebody that can recruit fairly well. I don't buy that he's some great head coach. He's never had more than 9 wins in a year. Sam Pittman's had 9 wins in a year. And Sam Pittman never got fired for being drunk at a press conference.
Well, what's his stories back then. He obviously doesn't drink now. All I'm saying is Arkansas deserves better. And, they need to be able to get their own kids, and until they get a top-tier coach, I don't see that happening.
Well, I think Sam Pittman is – look, the jury's out on what kind of a head coach he is. I think he has stabilized a program that the bottom dropped out, as you said, where they lost your fandom. I'm assuming that's during the Chad Morris years when the bottom dropped out, although there's a couple of bottoms that did drop out, so take your pick. But he has stabilized the team. He has stabilized the program. And the jury's going to be out on somebody after 3 years. But after 9 years as a head coach and a .557 winning percentage, Steve Sarkisian has done nothing to merit the term great head coach. And it's good to hear from you, Brian. Thank you very much.
You know, I'm a Sam Pittman fan. I think he's definitely got this program going the right direction. We forget where we were, Phil. You forget how bad it was there for a couple years, winning 0 games for back-to-back years. I mean, it was pretty bad, and so I'm excited about this upcoming season and the new coordinators we got coming in. I think it's going to be a new look Hogs, and it's going to be fun to watch KJ in year 3. And how much he's improved under Dan Enos and just being in the classroom with him. All these receivers we got coming in. Hopefully this defense, we can be opportunistic. And you're going to give up points, but we got to get turnovers. That's going to be the key on defense and giving your offense a chance to put some points up there.
I'm intrigued by what I think this team could be and what they've brought in the portal. And to see KJ back for a third year. I'm really intrigued by it, and especially with the new coordinators and everything because, look, I mean, the jury's out on Sam Pittman. I respect what he's done at Arkansas right now, but nobody's legend is made for them after 3 years as a head coach. Nobody's. And look, maybe Sark's got something in him for this next season for Texas to be something that's more than mediocre, but that's all they've been. That's all Texas has been for the last umpteen years is mediocre, and Sark's done nothing to make that any different. Nothing. I mean, maybe recruited well. Take that to the field. Take that to the field. I don't care about the recruiting rankings.
Texas has been one of the most underachieving teams in the last handful of years, but we get to find out next year, 2024. I believe the Longhorns come into Fayetteville. Is that correct?
That is true.
Yeah, so we'll find out. We what the last 10 times Arkansas has played Texas, what are we? 7-3, 8-2. I'm pretty sure we've kind of had the upper hand in the last couple Texas games.
Look, if year 2 under Sam Pittman, they would have won 3 games again, and then won 3 games again after that. You'd be like, all right, maybe this isn't cut up. Maybe he's not made to be a head coach. That didn't happen.
That team was bad when he got there, Phil. They were winning 0 conference games. So he had a lot of work to do, and it doesn't happen overnight. We're going to see what Deion Sanders does out there in Colorado, a team that won 1 game last year, and see how long it takes him to get it going.
Respectability for a football program is not automatic. Colorado isn't automatically respectable because they got the most famous head coach outside of Nick Saban. There are you got to wait on these things. You got to wait on these things. Anyway, Greg in Farmington next on the McClarty Daniel Hotline. Hi, Greg. What's up?
Hey guys. I'm going to try to hold my tongue with Mr. Brian.
Well, it's all right. I mean, I learned something about Brian there. He was a Razorback fan who gave up on the program, which, I mean, truthfully, I've always said, if you feel like your program or your team isn't doing things to earn your love, you can turn yourself into a free agent if you want. I'm just surprised you go from Arkansas to Texas. That's a different direction than I'd see most people go here.
Yeah. Well, I'm in my 50s, and I've never given up on the Hogs. Through the good, through the bad, I've never given up on the Hogs. And you brought up some good points. He's never been a head coach. talking about Sark, and how many times has he gotten fired being an assistant? How many times has he showed up drunk at press conferences? You know, let's look at Pittman. This is his first head coaching stint, and he's never been fired from a school that I can remember.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's unfair. It's unfair for me to go in that route of the drinking thing in front of the cameras, because that was a long time ago, and you would hope that. I think he's changed his life since then. He got a chance under Saban to show that he deserved another shot, and he's taken that chance and run with it. So good for Steve Sarkisian in that case, and I shouldn't make light of that at all. But it did happen, and I also am not going to look. If somebody's an assistant coach for Nick Saban, maybe that means more about what you did to get that job. You get the best players in the world. You get the best players in the country there to work with. I'd be a little bit more impressed if you if you succeed with a program that hasn't succeeded previously.
Yeah, but let's look at let's compare athletes that we're getting in. We've had players come to us from Bama, and let's look at how we're recruiting now, especially with the wide receiver we committed over the weekend. Before that recruit for the 2024 class, Arkansas wasn't even in the top 30. With that one recruit alone put us in the top 25 recruiting classes for 2024, and we're not done yet.
Yeah, I think you're referring to Ashton Bethel Roman from Missouri City, Texas, third wide receiver for the class. Yeah, and I mean, Coach Pittman has recruited well. You had a great class. I think it was a year before. This class 24 shaping up to be good. But Arkansas is never going to be the program that's top 5 recruiting or top 10 recruiting on an annual basis. That's just – I don't think that's ever happened at Arkansas. And, man, it would be a giant surprise, and you'd wonder how the heck did you pull that off at Arkansas. What you have to do is be active in the transfer portal, and they've done that. And I think this is where a program like Arkansas that is really going to have trouble cracking the top 10 in national recruiting rankings has a chance to shine. And I think this year is going to be an opportunity to do just that. Greg, we got to run. Got another caller on hold, and we got Alyssa Orange coming up in a moment. I appreciate your phone call, and it was good to hear from you. And now next is Charlie on the McClarty Daniel hotline. Hi, Charlie. How was your long weekend? Did you call yesterday at 12 noon too, by the way? Was that just out of habit?
I thought about it. I did.
And then he got cut off. So he's back.
What? Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, you're loud and clear.
You guys hear me? Okay. Was it Monday? I think I might have accidentally, or Friday? I was like, I forgot Friday. I think that actually did happen Friday. But let me say this real quick. I'm going to disagree with that first caller, the Texas guy, and I don't understand why he calls in here all the time just to come at us and, like, okay, you're not a fan of us no more, bro. Stop. I mean, okay, we get it. Like, don't call in here and criticize what we're doing. Look, Matt, you said it. Texas is underachieved. You think about all the recruiting classes that they've had compared to ours. If you want to rank something, I'm sure theirs are always higher than ours when it comes to just high school recruits. And Phil, you touched on it. I mean, to win nowadays, anyways, you got to get guys in the portal. You got to hit in the portal, and that's what it's going to come down to. And this is a big year for Pittman from the standpoint of, I think fans, especially down here, I don't understand it. But I agree. I'm with you guys. Like, did we not forget where we just came from, like, a few years back? Like, where it was sad to be a Razorback fan? I mean, we were so bad that it was hard for me to turn it on Saturday. Really. We were that bad. And so...
Was it hard to smile?
No, it was hard to breathe. Yes, it was. I was just sitting there it was very hard. So I'm just saying, like, at least we're starting to become respectable again. Like, are we where we want to be yet? No. But I believe in Sam, and hopefully this year we can, get a few more and get over the hump. Y'all have a good one.
All right, good to hear from you, Charlie. I don't even believe Brian believes what he said about him being. But I just think there's a certain attitude he's got towards Arkansas that has everything to do with why he left fandom of the team to begin with.
Who would you want? Would you want Jimbo Fisher and Bobby P or Sark? Like, if you were to say what coaching staff would you want for your you got to think Jimbo and Bobby P or A&M's probably going to have a better year than Texas.
I'm assuming they will.
I think A&M is the team that bounces. They're going to be the team in the SEC this year that's going to be like that first to worst.
All I see with both of those head coaches are guys whose reputations precede their winning percentages. They're supposed offensive geniuses who can win 7 or 8 games a year. Congratulations. You can make millions of dollars doing that, and they do it. I don't think there's that much of a difference between the two. One's got a natty, one doesn't, and that's about it.
One had Jameis Winston, yeah.
Yeah, one had Jameis Winston.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to break here in just a moment. WT Equipment is your home for New Holland ag and construction equipment sales, parts, and service. From high horsepower row crop tractors and combines, utility tractors, hay equipment, compact track loaders, mini excavators, WT Equipment has it all. Check out any of their 8 locations to explore the value of New Holland tractors or see why New Holland hay equipment and twin rotor combines are second to none in harvesting ability. Need to upgrade your construction equipment fleet? Give WT Equipment a call. Get by a store. Check out their website at WTEquip.com. Alyssa Orange from Pig Trail Nation standing by for halftime right after this.
To Felix Jones on an end around. Jones to the 30 to 40. Jones in midfield. He may go. A 25, a 20, 10, 5. Touchdown, Arkansas. Felix Jones goes 72 yards, and the Razorbacks increase their lead.
Listen to every Razorback football game this season right here on ESPN 95.3 and hitthatline.com.
For a dependable, fuel-efficient tractor from a company committed to the future, choose a Branson tractor. Each of our tractors is backed by a 6-year limited warranty with models available ranging in horsepower from 22 to 58. You are sure to find the tractor that is right for you. Make sure you call or stop in today at the new location for Bush Tractor at 6100 South 0 Street in Fort Smith. Again, that is 6100 South 0 Street in Fort Smith. Or you can check them out online at bushtractor.com.
Come on along, head for the mountains of Bush Beer. Head for the mountains, it's cold and it's smooth and it's waiting for you. Come on, head for the mountains of Bush Beer. Head for the mountains of Bush. Head for the mountains of Bush. Life be.
Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2022. Anheuser-Busch, Busch, and Busch Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
You don't wanna see cracks in your pipes or your plumber. Let West Dark Plumbing get you right for the summer. We tuck in our shirts and work, we're experts. So if things don't flow your way, we can get it to work. Say no to crack and we'll give you 20 back. 646-5151. Looking for a plumber, call a nail, give you one. 646-5151. Looking for a plumber, call a nail, give you one. Say no to crack and get 20 back, yeah. West Dark Plumbing, expert drain clean service. Say no to crack and get 20 back, yeah.
Precision Overhead Door features the finest quality materials, installation, and service for all of your overhead door needs. Fully licensed and insured, with locations in Rogers and Fort Smith, serving all of Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley. Give them a call today at 844-PDS-STORE or online at PrecisionDoorNWA.com. Back-to-back winners of the Best of Award, Gold Best Garage Company in Northwest Arkansas, and also winners of the River Valley Precision Overhead Door.
The spring allergy and hay fever seasons are here, and Law's Drugstore has what you need to safely take care of you and your family. Law's Drugstore can fill and refill your prescriptions, and they have all of the over-the-counter allergy remedies to provide comfort. Call 452-6116 and ask about vaccine shot appointment for shingles, pneumonia, COVID, and whooping cough. Law's Drugstore, 6802 Rogers Avenue behind the Outback Steakhouse. Law's Drugstore, open 6 days a week to safely care for you and your family.
What do you get when you pull into Tony's Tire Service? You get the best selection of tires for any car, truck, or commercial vehicle. Tony's Tire Service has Cooper tires and is ready to serve you to get you back on the road safely. They'll also get your vehicle fixed with brake replacements plus an alignment with the best repair guy in the area. Tony's Tire Service has been serving the River Valley for over 34 years. Come let our guys replace your tires with Cooper tires and our service department to make sure the vehicle has the best brakes and alignments. Tony's Tire Service, 7200 South 28th Street in Fort Smith. Service you can depend on.
Have your travel plans changed? Looking for a place that's close to home and keep your family safe? Gaston's White River Resort is located on the beautiful White River. They offer private accommodations in their lodges and cabins. Most cabins have a fully equipped kitchen or let their restaurant staff deliver to your cabin. Call 870-431-5202 and change your plans to Gaston's White River Resort. Gaston's White River Resort, a first-class time every time.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Well, I snuck to a window to leave her a note. Will you come meet me at the back of the grove, Lord? All the trees were in bloom, that sweet smell in the air. We were trembling together. We were young, we were scared, yeah. True love is hard to find. I can smell those orange blossoms. I can see us standing here. When I smell those orange blossoms, then I'm there. Oh, Lord,
Welcome back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Got a question or comment for the guys? Call or text on the McClarty Daniel hotline, 877-377-6963. Let's get back to the show with the voice of Arkansas Razorback baseball, Phil Elson, and Razorback football legend Matt Jones.
To the McClarty Daniel hotline, where Alyssa Orange from Pig Trail Nation is with us. Hey, Alyssa. How was the?
Hi.
Did you have a long weekend? I ran into one of your television colleagues on the River Trail a couple of days ago. He had to work on Monday, and he was like, I got nothing, but we still got to go to work. What were the last 4 days like for you?
Yeah, worked Monday and got to have yesterday off and really just kind of relaxed. I was able to catch a couple fireworks shows, and we set off some here. But we're going on vacation next weekend, or next week, so we really didn't do anything too crazy. I actually spent the day packing, if that says anything about me and my personality. And I don't know, Sunday I was on my sewing machine and put a needle through my finger, so
Ow.
had to fix that. Yeah.
That's the main reason I don't sew, because I don't want to have a needle stuck through my finger. Because also, I've sewed buttons before, but I can't do much else.
I was on the machine, and the thing is, I had just had a conversation with Courtney because she said the same thing, and I was like, it's impossible to do that. Like, you have to be an idiot. You got to be, not paying attention to sew your finger. And I was just sewing a big square. I was making a duffel bag, and I don't really remember, but I was trying to turn it, and I did something, and sure enough, my pointer finger on my left, next thing I know, the needle has broken off into my finger, and I've had to get Saul to pull it out, and then almost fainted. But I'm fine. We're all good, so it's fine.
Frightening thoughts.
She does her own stunts. Exactly. It's movie season.
That's right. Yeah, July is vacation season. I'm headed to Lake Michigan on Friday afternoon, flying to Chicago, renting a car with the kiddos, and we're headed to South Haven, Michigan for a week. It was my first time ever on one of the Great Lakes for summertime. And, I mean, it looks just like an ocean. It feels just like the ocean. There are waves. It just doesn't smell. Where are you headed?
We're going to Chattanooga. Got a lake house there. I believe it's Lake Chickamauga. It happens to be kind of a halfway point between our family here in Arkansas and my family in Virginia. And so we rented a house. My sister's flying in from Seattle, and we're going to hang out by the lake too.
I'm jealous you know how to sew. They taught me in home ec class in like 8th grade, 7th grade, and then the skills left me.
I had to sew a button on a Ty's shirt before. Yeah, Ty Richardson came up to me once to have me sew a button on his shirt.
Matty T, you can sew?
Absolutely. But I was really raised by my grandmother a lot, so she showed me that.
One day for my birthday 10 years ago, I just moved here, and I was like, you know what, I'm going to go buy me a cheap sewing machine and see what I can do. And quite frankly, that's how I unwind. It's the exact opposite of what I do for a living, and it's very therapeutic for me.
Hey, Alyssa, I saw you tweet about this. I think it was Friday last week when all of those firings came down from ESPN. And I think probably the one that tops the list for a lot of people, along with Jeff Van Gundy and David Pollack, is Suzy Kolber. I think she was the longest tenured ESPN staff member let go. It's 27 years or something like that. And, man, I mean, she was so good with the NFL. So good with the NFL. Yeah. That one stood out. And I know she must have had a pretty heavy influence upon your career.
A huge impact. If you think about it, 27 years at ESPN. I'm 35 years old. I was watching Suzy Kolber when I was 8 years old, 9 years old, and watched what she was able to do, and obviously wanted to get in this profession, and she was just top-notch. And what I really respected of her was her knowledge for her content and what she was talking about, but also the way that she was able to deliver things and have conversations. And so if you were to ask me some people who I really modeled what I wanted to be as a sports journalist around, it would be her. It would also be Lindsay Zarniak. Really liked her style when she was on ESPN as well. And so when I saw that, it was like a gut punch, which reminds you, we're all dispensable. No one thinks that, we can't be replaced. But for everyone around my age, a few years older, a few years younger, who watched Suzy Kolber and got into this industry because of the platform that she helped pave for a lot of us, a lot of people that I follow on social media who are women in this industry paying homage to her last Friday.
She is so good, and I'm sure she'll hook on somewhere because she's just really good at what she does. She always has this ability, and maybe there's a little bit that you've like ingrained in your delivery on camera, like Suzy. I've done this too with people that I listened to growing up. I don't realize that it's not mimicking them, but just like taking a piece of their on-air persona, and because you listened to it so much and paid attention to it so much that it almost, the back of your mind just becomes a little bit of your own on-air persona. Suzy Kolber is one of those people that always seems to be happy at what she is doing, and it never comes across phony. Some people that always look like they're smiling. It's not always. It doesn't always look genuine. With Suzy Kolber, her delivery, you could tell she loved what she did, and even in 27 years, you could see sometimes the look on her face was like, "Yeah, I get to do this for a living." That's what I took from her. I think we lost Alyssa there for a moment. Did we lose Alyssa?
We still looks like she's on, but I'll try to call her back here maybe.
All right. Well, that was certainly one that stood out. Van Gundy stood out. Todd McShay stood out just because of the outsized.
Hey,
you're back, Alyssa.
We lost you there for a moment, Alyssa. I was just mentioning. I don't know if you heard everything I was bringing up there, but it was about Suzy Kolber's delivery, friendly delivery. Just always had that smile, and it never came across phony. I don't know if you thought that maybe you took some of what she did into.
Yes, we can hear you now.
We got you here, Alyssa. Suzy Kolber.
Hello?
Yeah,
she's having some phone issues.
So we'll just have to call her back in a moment here. Yeah, McShay stood out. The NFL draft is so important to ESPN that I guess they had to make a decision, right? If you're going to get rid of somebody that focuses on the draft, it wasn't going to be Mel Kiper. It would be Todd McShay.
Right.
And so they're
Jalen Rose hurt me a little bit. I always like listening to what he has to say. I need to go over that list and look at it. So it's just about because they got the Pat McAfee show and they're spending money elsewhere, so that's what they have to do.
I saw an explanation about this that might be the right way to look at it. McAfee is a business decision because it automatically should be a moneymaker.
Mm-hmm.
He's his own
entity.
His own entity. That's right. With these individual on-air anchors or analysts,
they're part of the machine.
That's exactly right. McAfee is the machine to that aspect of what he does. He's the moneymaker. You get rid of Susie Kolber, unfortunately, that probably doesn't lose you sponsors.
Well, exactly.
That's what I mean. Yeah, and Game Day won't be the same either without David Pollack. Chris in Fayetteville texted that in, and that was another. That was like, why are you cutting anybody off of Game Day? This is this huge moneymaker, but you can cut somebody and still make money off of it. Alyssa, I think you're back, and the thing about Susie Kolber that stood out: on-air friendliness, happiness. Just always seemed to be enjoying what she did, but never came across phony. I don't know if that was something that you might have incorporated into your on-air delivery, because that's the way you come across too.
Well, thank you. And really, for me, watching her, it felt like she brought you into the conversation. She wasn't talking at you. She was talking with her audience and with the people around her. And that's what's been really big for me as I continue to mold who I want to be as a journalist and perfect my craft, is being a conversational on-air personality that isn't just going to recite things, but feel like I'm talking with the audience who is probably maybe having that same conversation about the Razorbacks at home with their friends and family. Because that's how she made me feel when I was watching her, that she wasn't better than anyone, that she wasn't on some pedestal reciting, let me tell you what I know. She felt like she was talking with you and bringing you into that conversation.
Yeah, I think that describes it well. And that's how you ingratiate yourself to listeners and to viewers, is by making them feel that we're all having that same conversation. And there was a point where I remember when I decided I wanted to go into sports radio, specifically baseball play-by-play, but sports radio is an industry at the age of 12. So that would have been 1989. And in 1989, ESPN was the thing. And that's where anyone that was older than me that knew what I wanted to do for a living were like, you probably want to work at ESPN, right? Times have changed now. ESPN isn't really doing a lot of hiring necessarily. It's you got to branch out. You got to find other places to do it, because the ESPN of right now is not anywhere close to what that whole thing was even 6 or 7 years ago.
Yeah, and it's interesting. Even when I got out of college in 2009, when you wanted to get into the industry, you did radio, newspaper, or television. There wasn't podcasts. There wasn't these Barstool Sports or the SEC Network, or even really working as a team reporter wasn't a thing quite yet. And now there's so many opportunities for a lot of these younger talents to go out there and do things the way that they're coming out of college, with, quite frankly, their last semester of college is almost like 4 years in a small market with the resources that they have now that we did not have in 2009. So it's come a long way. But I think the detriment to that, as we talk about all of these long tenured people we grew up watching having to be laid off on Friday, is that the talent pool can be younger and can be stronger at their abilities at a young age, where they're cheaper. And now we've got this revolving door of younger, cheaper talent versus tenured, very expensive talent, and it goes around and around and around. But it also, I think, says a lot, too, to what we do at Pig Trail Nation and how unique we've been able to be, and how we're able to really evolve and do new things in the local sports world that I've been a part of for the last 10 years, which is really cool to see that support hasn't wavered.
Well, and you guys have had to grow the areas of where it is that your content is delivered. You got so much, like Ask Mike is all on hogville.net or on YouTube and everything. And you say you work for a network television station, but most of what you do isn't necessarily on linear TV. I mean, these are some of those adjustments that you're talking about.
Yeah, digital, and that's something that we've really had to figure out is how can we have a digital footprint without ignoring the television side of things, because still it's the TV side of things that makes the money, but it's the digital side that gets the eyeballs, and how do you balance that?
It is. Hey, last thing before I let you go. First Razorback that goes in the draft Saturday. Who do you think?
Well, are we talking signee or current Razorback?
Oh, current Razorback.
Okay, I'm going to go with Tavian Josenberger as the current Razorback. But signee, we all know Aiden Miller is going to go like top 15.
Yeah, probably a first rounder right there. No doubt.
Yeah.
Alyssa, we'll leave it there. Thanks for hopping on. Appreciate
you.
Good luck on the sewing machine if you got to get on that again.
I went back and finished my project yesterday, so we're good. We're back on good terms.
Thanks, Alyssa.
Alyssa Orange from Pig Trail Nation on the McClarty Danla hotline. We appreciate her time as always. And Joe's Grilling Cantina, making the middle of the week even better. Today is Nacho Average Wednesday. $1 off all nachos, $1 off all beers, draft and bottles, plus new ballpark pork nachos. That's Nacho Average Wednesday at Joe's Grill and Cantina. Tomorrow's Throwback Thursday, rotation of classic Tex-Mex dishes that you've enjoyed for years, and one of their ultimate margaritas. That's at 3400 South 74th across from Harps and Fort Smith. Check out joesfortsmith.com and their Facebook page for daily specials, and halftime returns after this.
With summer in full swing, now's the perfect time to head to the ballpark. Score great deals on great seats from our friends at Vivid Seats, the official ticketing partner of ESPN. Every crack of the bat, every diving catch, every heart-pounding play. Experience it live, in person, from the first pitch to the final inning. Vivid Seats has a huge selection of MLB tickets, and they're the only ticket company that rewards your purchases. For the best selection of 2023, shop now. Just visit vividseats.com or download the app today. Vivid Seats. Experience it live.
Whether you own a local business or a global one, you know that these days, generating growth is a challenge. By teaming with Bank of America, you'll not just stay ahead of the curve, you'll move it. With access to experts, award-winning insights, and business solutions so powerful, you'll make every move matter, locally and globally. Visit bankofamerica.com/banking for business to learn more. What would you like the power to do? Copyright 2023 Bank of America, N.A.
This is halftime.
Hi folks, Larry Rath here for Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, where all we do is keep you rolling. If you're replacing a car, selling a car, repairing a car, or anything else automotive, we've got you. Plus, follow us on Facebook to enter our Winning and Grinning Give-A-Palooza. It's fun and it's free with great prizes. Think of us next time you have any automotive need and see why all the happiest drivers are rolling with Rath. Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, just north of Phoenix on Towson, Fort Smith.
Acker Funeral Home knows that thinking about the inevitability of one's death is a subject that few like to consider. For many, actually moving ahead with their pre-planning or prepaying for their funeral is even more difficult to act on. With a large number of options available today, it's important to speak to someone you can trust. Acker Funeral Homes in Van Buren, Alma, and Fort Smith, serving the community for over 100 years. Call 474-2523 for an appointment.
With over 8,000 square feet of all the latest trends in lighting and plumbing fixtures, Great House Fixtures has all the brands you know and love, such as Visual Comfort Lighting and Delta Faucets. Their experienced staff can help you design and select the perfect fixtures for your uniquely you home, including sinks, tubs, faucets, custom showers, indoor and outdoor lighting, chandeliers, mirrors, hardware, and more. Make your house a great house. Learn more at greathousefixtures.com, located on 0th Street in Fort Smith. Great House Fixtures by J&B Supply.
Summer is finally here. Come check out Kofer's Boat Center's huge selection of boats with the best incentives in years. Kofer's experienced professionals will answer all your boating questions, and their award-winning customer service with Mercury, Malibu, Lowe, Camus, and Garmin will keep your boat in peak condition. Kofer's also has a fully stocked pro shop and updated RV and boat storage facilities. Find Kofer's online at kofers.com. That's COPHERS.com. Kofer's Boat Center, your authorized Mercury dealer, helping their customers create a lifetime of memories for over 50 years.
Whether you own a local business or a global one, you know that these days, generating growth is a challenge. By teaming with Bank of America, you'll not just stay ahead of the curve, you'll move it. With access to experts, award-winning insights, and business solutions so powerful, you'll make every move matter, locally and globally. Visit bankofamerica.com/banking for business to learn more. What would you like the power to do? Copyright 2023 Bank of America, N.A.
Hey, Ty Richardson for A Cut Above Lawn and Landscaping. They service commercial and residential lawns for weed management and fertilization for a lush, healthy lawn. Need bush hogging? Yep, they do that too. A Cut Above can make that driveway and fence look brand new with a good power washing. You don't have to put up with those unwanted pests either. Call today and get started with a flea, tick, and mosquito treatment to start enjoying the outdoors again. More than just a mowing service. They're A Cut Above. Call or text today at 479-719-5605. Lawn, landscaping, power washing, flea, tick, and mosquito control. 719-5605.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
I heard you on my wireless back in 52. Lying awake, intent and tuning in on you. If I was young, it didn't stop you coming through. They took the credit for your second symphony, rewritten by machine on new technology. And now I understand the supernova scene. I met your children. What did you tell them? Video killed the radio star. Video killed the radio star. In my mind and in my car, we can't rewind, we've gone too far.
Welcome back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Got a question or comment for the guys? Call or text on the McClarty Daniel hotline, 877-377-6963. Let's get back to the show with the voice of Arkansas Razorback baseball, Phil Elson, and Razorback football legend Matt Jones.
We're going to go right to the McClarty Daniel hotline for a couple of callers. You can visit any of McClarty Daniel's 6 locations in Springdale or Bentonville. Also at McClartyDaniel.com to check out all of their inventory. Alan is up first. Alan's in Fayetteville. Hi, Alan. Thanks for the phone call. You are on Halftime. What's up? Alan, hello. Little issue.
I've got him potted up. I wonder, are we
having
having
a little issue
fun?
with the phone there, so let's go to Razor Bacon instead, see if his phone works. Hi, Razor Bacon. Does your phone work?
I hope so. Does it work?
You have a voice. Yes, that's you. Hi, Razor Bacon. Your phone works. What's up?
Well, with apologies to George Strait, I got a little song. Well, Brian, down in Ozark Town, thanks the horns hung the moon. He don't remember the last time we played, the game was over much too soon. But he'll call in time and time again, being the biggest pain as he can be. But he'll learn all about true pain when the horns join the SEC. I wish Brian had moved to Texas, 'cause Texas is the place he deserves to be. Yeah, I wish Brian had moved to Texas. Either that or learn to say whoop pig suey. 3 strikes. I'm out.
Appreciate that, Razor Bacon. That was very
beautiful.
well done. That was. It's the first time Razor Bacon has sung a song here on this show. I think he does that on Ruskin and Zach, who have banned Brian in Ozark from calling, by the way. Now, I like Brian when he calls. I don't have a problem with him. He'll converse with us. It's just
have a conversation. Yeah,
we just got to figure out a way for him to figure out that everything in Texas is not golden just because they've got Texas.
Well, they haven't given us a reason to watch them. So why would we? That's what I'm trying. They've underachieved so bad the last few years. We're not talking about Vince Young. We're not talking about Ricky Williams. We're not talking about Texas when they were golden. Texas is kind of just like
it's not even really a football
nobody
school right
knows.
now anyway.
Arkansas's put more players in the NFL than Texas has. If you're looking over the last decade, we've owned Texas. You look at the records against us. Texas has not given us They have not given. Ricky Barnes isn't coaching. Kevin Durant's not there. You look at Texas. It's just they're not the same.
Alan, let's try you again in Fayetteville. Hi, Alan. You're on halftime. Does your phone work?
Let's see. You guys hear me?
Loud and clear. A-OK.
All
100%.
Right.
Go for it.
All right. Yeah, I just wanted to get your guys' thoughts on something. I've been going back and watching some of the games from last season, and I wanted to know how you guys think the rushing game is going to go with Dan Enos. I was looking, and it seemed like a lot of the success we had in the rushing game was just Kendall Briles' system, and operating out of the shotgun, kind of giving options to the defense whether they have to take KJ or if they have to take Rocket. And it seems like with Dan Enos' system, it's going to be a lot more predictable run, 2 tight end sets and stuff like that. And I'm worried that, Rocket Sanders might have, a drop-off in statistics this year just because of the system that he's running in.
That is a good point. I don't know if I wouldn't expect Rocket to get to his numbers again. I think DeBinion's going to be better. I think a new system. So if you're basing it on, hey, is Rocket going to get, what do you have, 1,700 rushing yards last year? Something ridiculous. I don't think it was 1,700, but I don't think I think it's going to be more spread out. You look at AJ Green, but I'm looking at DeBinion, and I've been saying this since we've had this show. I really like DeBinion. I mean, he's a kid that could have 1,200 rushing yards if he was the featured back, even more. So I think it's going to be by committee. So just because his touches might go down, his average might go up, but I don't think he's going to hit that number again just because we have so many running backs in this group.
1,700,
so you don't think
14
it has
yards from
1,700, yeah.
From scrimmage, there was almost 1,450 rushing yards.
Yeah.
A lot of this also, Alan, is going to have to do with how this offensive line shakes out. He did he had a line that knew that was together mostly for a 3-year period. That's got to be something because it's going to be a completely different.
I could see Rocket being closer to 1,500 this year because he'll still get to that 1,400 mark at least. But we're gonna have so many more weapons and so much more help in the backfield.
Yeah, I totally agree. I'm worried about. I guess what I'm saying is, I'm more worried about Dan Enos' system. Compared to Kendall Briles and the success we had with the rushing game, just based off of the fact that the defense was put into so much conflict last year.
Well, I mean, it's legitimate. That's a legitimate thought.
It's going to be up to our offensive line as well, Phil. With we got a new offensive line unit coming on, but I like Dan Enos. He can call some offense. He's going to be all right.
All right. Well, I appreciate you guys.
Thanks, Alan. McClarty Daniel hotline is open for you at 877-377-6963. You give Arkansas fans a chance to come at Texas. They're going to do that. They're definitely going to do that. That's always a content generator on sports radio across Arkansas. You get a Texas fan calling up, beating his chest about a mediocre football program at best, and the next thing you know, you get texts that say no fruit sucks like the Big Orange of Texas, or all the trees in Arkansas lean south because Texas sucks. It's automatic content for sports radio. No doubt about that. Hey, we've got our football trip for a lifetime contest starting very soon. That means we've got the Thick Burger Eating Contest starting soon as well. Next Tuesday at 1820 Phoenix Avenue at the Hardee's location. Eat a third-pound Angus Thick Burger in 90 seconds or less, and you are entered for a chance to see the Chiefs and the Eagles at Arrowhead Stadium in Kansas City. That is the football trip of a lifetime and a chance to watch a rematch of last year's Super Bowl when the Eagles and the Chiefs meet in Kansas City. Also join the Morning Rush Friday, July 14th at 1820 Phoenix Avenue. Hardee's, they'll broadcast live. Bring back your chance to be the office hero with $1 sausage biscuits from 6 to 9. Offer is good at all Fort Smith Hardee's locations and Salisaw. It's the 18th annual football trip of a lifetime brought to you by Hardee's, ESPN Arkansas, and hitthatline.com.
Video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Are you ready to give your family the best 4th of July experience yet? USA Fireworks wants to make that happen with the USA Fireworks Bangin' Giveaway. USA Fireworks has helped Arkansans more than 30 years. Go to hitthatline.com/USA Fireworks and enter.
Hey dudes, Get ready for the 4th of July with the new patriotic Hey Dudes. They're on sale now for men and women. Jelco Outdoors, your summer footwear store for work, play, hiking, and fishing. Shop local. Shop Jelco Outdoors, 4600 South Zero in Fort Smith.
After I drop the kids off, I have to run across town for a meeting, hit the gym during lunch. Jake has soccer tonight, and Emily has gymnastics? Oh, did I turn on the crock pot this morning?
With a never-ending to-do list, it's easy to forget something important, like setting up a life insurance plan with Shelter Insurance. Your local Shelter agent can show you how to create a safety net for your family. Shelter Life Insurance Company, Columbia, Missouri.
Call Ted McAvoy in Van Buren or Chris Dooley in Fort Smith.
Hi, this is Melissa Vitale, owner of True Grit Running Company. Your young athlete deserves the best when it comes to footwear. After all, it's good to start early so they don't have problems in the future. We've got options for training, cross-country, gym class, and more. Our well-trained staff can guide your student athlete through our personalized fit process to help find that True Grit fit. And for our cross-country kids, we offer a 10% discount off of your total purchase. Visit our store in Fort Smith, located behind Chick-fil-A.
Are you ready to work for one of the area's premier companies? If so, Forsgren wants to offer you a rewarding new career. Forsgren has been building the foundation of the River Valley for over 80 years. Forsgren is recruiting for experienced concrete finishers, equipment operators, truck drivers, and laborers. Forsgren is a destination point for men and women with a drive toward excellence. Join the Forsgren legacy. Apply now on any device, anywhere at goforsgren.com. That's goforsgren.com. Forsgren Incorporated is an equal opportunity employer.
Arkansas Glass and Mirror Company has been serving the glass and glazing needs of Fort Smith, Northwest Arkansas, and Eastern Oklahoma since 1964. That's over 50 years of commercial and residential services from their 2 locations on Zero Street in Fort Smith. Arkansas Glass and Mirror offers custom-cut tub and shower enclosures, mirrors, plexiglass, Lexan, window glass, and plate glass. Whether commercial entry doors or home glass projects, remember Arkansas Glass and Mirror. Online at arkansasglassandmirror.com or give them a call, 646-4300.
Looking for a piece of equipment? Head on over to Sharp Equipment today and explore their latest offers and deals as a Wacker Newson dealer and Cinnabogan authorized service provider. Whatever your day brings, whatever job it is you need complete, at Sharp Equipment, they help you move more than just the world. They help you move forward. From excavators to powerful skid steers, Sharps can find the right equipment for your needs. See Sharp Equipment located in Central Hydraulic at 6104 Highway 271 South in Fort Smith, or call 479-242-1406.
What is that?
My mortgage rate detector. I made it out of an old altimeter alarm. With Navy Federal Credit Union's no refi rate drop option, we could get a lower rate without refinancing our mortgage. So I'm keeping a close eye on mortgage rates. They're dropping. Call Navy Federal.
Buy a home, and if rates drop, you could lower your rate and save thousands. Navy Federal Credit Union. Our members are the mission. Insured by NCUA. Terms and conditions apply. Equal housing lender. Loan subject to approval and eligibility requirements. Learn more at NavyFederal.org.
Attention car shoppers. In the market for a new ride? Look no further than Road Chevrolet Van Buren, your trusted destination for great selection and unbeatable prices. We have dozens of new Chevrolets on the way, waiting to land in your driveway. Reserve yours today and don't pay 1 penny over MSRP. Have a car to sell? Road Chevrolet wants to buy your car even if you don't buy from us. Getting a hassle-free appraisal only takes a few minutes. Buying or selling a car doesn't have to be a stressful experience when you deal with the pros at Road Chevrolet Van Buren. Prices you'll love, people you can trust.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Landscape's burning red.
listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Want to jump in the conversation? Call or text ESPN Arkansas on the McClarty Daniel hotline, 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Figuring out something to do on a hot summer day with kids. And there is a new museum in Fort Smith that has opened. And it's been, man, we've been wondering about this for a long time.
16 years.
The U.S. Marshals Museum. Matt E.T. went to visit it. What'd you think?
I did. I went on Monday while we got the day off. Man, I thought it was pretty awesome. And it was only $13 admission. You know, they got.
What was your favorite exhibit? Like, what was it? Different styles and different things.
So there's different. Yeah, there's like several different areas, you know, and different themes. But they've got some really cool. It's like top notch technology displays,
aviation stuff.
Like, well, one of them is like it's a book that like you turn the page, and every time you turn the page, the images on it, because it's being projected from above. It's like it changed who the marshal was and tells his story and like a little
Gives
video.
a little background.
It almost
stuff.
reminds me. Remember the movie Big, and he's like he talks about an interactive comic book. It reminded me of something like that. Yeah, he's talking about. But there's you walk in and there's like a little campfire scene with the marshals telling stories, and the images are being projected up on the wall, and I was really impressed.
What was his name in the movie Big? Josh Baskin. Josh Baskin was about 40 years ahead of his time.
He was.
That idea. That was an idea that could have made some money with. That's for sure. But so how long did it take you to make it through the museum?
I'll definitely stay away from her.
I spent more than an hour, but I got lucky when I first got there. There was hardly anybody there, but by the time I had been there an hour, it was
there
packed.
Like an audio thing with your phone or anything like that?
No, but every time you change an area, the music changes, and you know it's very
I'll have to
well
check
done.
it out.
Yeah. I almost thought about messaging you Monday, but.
Yeah,
I mean, that's one of the things.
I could have been your plus one. Yeah,
it's one of the things we're looking for here. You know, the movie theater is like you go for the movie and you get out of there. You got to go find something else that involves air conditioning. Well, there are many museums in our listening area that are worth it, and we got another one over in Fort Smith, the U.S. Marshals Museum. Good review, Matty T. Appreciate that. I'm glad you got to go.
I enjoyed it. I highly recommend.
Well, we're moving into our third hour of halftime in just a moment. Bill King from Nashville Sports Radio visits us soon. It's just a few things happening across college football because you know what? Nobody's announcing they're going to a new conference, although there is a crazy situation going on with San Diego State University. They may not have a conference. Our McClarty Daniel hotline open for you at 877-377-6963. See their inventory, McClartyDaniel.com. And stay with us on halftime. We'll be right back.
Hey, this is Jason Christie from Park Hill, Oklahoma, the 2022 Bassmaster Classic champion. I'm excited to tell you about the Booyah Poppin' Pad Crasher Jr. It is a smaller version of the Poppin' Pad Crasher, and it's a bait I'm going to use all summer on the Arkansas River. Frog fishing is one of my favorite things to do when summer fishing, and Poppin' Pad Crasher Jr. is the right size and has the right hook set up to catch them. It's available at lurenet.com and tackle stores everywhere. The Booyah Poppin' Pad Crasher Jr.
Chuck Barrett here. I know a thing or two about making great calls in Arkansas. And when it comes to your home service needs, make the call to Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. The friendly pros at Pascal have been serving Arkansas for more than 50 years. And as the weather changes, make sure your system is ready with a Pascal protection plan. Call the pros at Pascal and get a seasonal tune-up, discounted services, and priority scheduling. Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned. Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Discover credit cards automatically double all the cash back you earn at the end of your first year, which means... Wait, hold up. Question for the audio engineer.
Go ahead.
Did I read that right? Discover automatically doubles all your cash back?
Yeah, that's what the script says.
So if I get a Discover card right now, I can earn twice the cash back.
Apparently. Wait! Unlimited first-year cash back match, only from Discover. See terms and learn more at discover.com/match.
Why do people love Shamrock Liquor Warehouse? Simple. They've got it all. 70 years in business, 15,000 square feet of choices. They buy in volume so you can save. What else? How about the largest selection of everything? Shamrock's got it. Special orders? Shamrock's got it. Convenient drive-through, open 6 days a week? Shamrock's got it. Need a keg for your party? Shamrock's got it. Load up at Shamrock Liquor Warehouse at the corner of Midland and Riverfront Drive in Fort Smith.
What makes a meal magical? Maybe it's coming home to smiling faces and the aroma of the grill. Maybe magic is the moment you finally get the secret ingredient to Mom's signature mac and cheese. Who knows, magic might just be as simple as meeting up with a friend to share a number 2 with fries and extra ketchup. One thing's for certain, magic shouldn't be hard because it's everywhere. All it takes is mixing the right ingredients. Good company, great food, and ice-cold Coca-Cola. And then, voila! You'll have a recipe for magic.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, we are looking at sunny skies, a chance of seeing some scattered showers and thunderstorms. Our high temperatures in the lower 90s. Tonight, cloudy skies, 50-50 chance of showers and storms. Our high will be in the upper 60s to near 70. And then another chance of showers and scattered thunderstorms for Thursday. Our high will be in the low 80s. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Carco Auto Sales. Give them a call at 783-1722 or check them out online at buyfromcarco.com.
KERX Paris Fort Smith. The Bud Light Countdown is on. Arkansas football begins in 59 days.
Broadcasting on ESPN Arkansas and streaming on hitthatline.com.
We got a good one tonight. You got a team in here that doesn't respect you.
Live from the Busch Light Studios.
Don't ask me if I'm all right. Joaquin said dominate, and we not doing it.
We're going to go get one and celebrate on somebody else's field.
Matt Jones may take it to the house and the dunk.
Both said you had very motivational words at halftime.
It's halftime with Phil Olsen and Matt Jones. Produced by Matt Travis.
Hold the rope! Hold the rope! Hold the rope! I'm putting my heart, dog. Let's go, man!
Probably as frustrated as I've been the first half.
Do we believe?
Second half, very happy.
Is vintage Matt Jones.
Hold the rope! Hold the rope! Hold the rope! 1, 2, 3! 1, 2, 3! Turn that down,
Call or text on the McClarty Daniel hotline, 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
Welcome back on Halftime on ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com. I'm Phil Elson, Matt Jones, Matt Travis, alongside our McClarty Daniel hotline open for you right now at 877-377-6963. See all of the inventory of any of the 6 locations at McClartyDaniel.com or visit their locations in Springdale or Bentonville. McClarty Daniel. We'll have Bill King coming up, Nashville Sports Radio, in just a little bit. Some interesting stuff going on involving college sports. This situation with San Diego State, I'd alluded to it before we went into the break. So the Pac-12, Matt, has to figure out their media rights before they welcome in any other conference members. And you lose a foothold in Southern California. Without UCLA and USC, the Pac-12 has no presence in Southern California, none whatsoever. The closest that would come to that would be a race between who can travel faster from Tempe, Arizona, or from Palo Alto, California.
Cal Berkeley, are they still in the Pac-12?
Yeah, they're still in the Pac-12. Stanford, yeah. Washington, Oregon State, Utah.
Utah's kind of on the come. I mean, they you got to like what they've done.
Colorado, there's open talk about Colorado potentially joining the Big 12 once again.
That's where they belong. Colorado needs to get at it. They need to be in the Big 12, yes.
But San Diego State has a kind of a crazy situation going on here because the thought would be that they are the next member of the Pac-12. But in order for the Pac-12 to extend an invitation, the conference and the member schools have to know how much money they're going to be making. You know, you figure out your media deal first, then you bring in another couple of schools to replace the 2 anchor schools in Los Angeles that they've lost. And San Diego State's a big school.
That's a good one, especially in basketball. I mean, they can hang.
Well, they also spent, I think it was $350 million to build a new football stadium for the college. Remember, for years they shared the Chargers home.
Yeah, Qualcomm. Yeah.
They blew that place up. It's not even around any longer.
Man, I still remember Marshall Faulk just running down the sidelines down there. Yeah, he was fun to watch.
So San Diego State would be the obvious choice, and a month ago, the school sent a letter to the Mount West Conference, their current player. They've been for a long time, and they're the marquee member of that league, I think, in both football and in basketball, though maybe the Boise State, if I'm mixing up some of my conferences here, might have something to say about that. So in the letter, San Diego State announced an intention to leave the conference. It wasn't a letter saying we're out of the conference right now. It was an announcement of an intention. Here's what we plan to do. Well, then the Pac-12, since they haven't been able to come up with a media rights package yet, and they continue, like anytime you read anything about a Pac-12 school president or the commissioner, yeah, we're going to get this done soon. We're going to get this done soon. 2 weeks away, and it's still not happened. So San Diego State then, I guess this was a few days ago, sent another letter to the Mount West Conference announcing now their intention to not leave the conference. But the conference itself says, yeah, by the way, you are leaving the conference because you sent us this first letter announcing your intentions, which we took as saying we're out of the conference after next year. And, oh, by the way, you owe us $17 million.
Are they like the kids that get in the transfer portal thinking they're going to have a team, and then all of a sudden they don't have a team? Yeah.
Right. That's kind of what's happened here, Matt. You know what? That's the perfect analogy, is the athlete that goes into the transfer portal because
going
he
to
or
the
she
Pac-12, yeah,
might have been told, hey, we've got a package of money for you over here at whatever state university. Go into the portal, find out, hey, they were lying about it, or they don't have the money you thought they were going to get, so you want to go back to your school, and coach says, yeah, forget about it. That's kind of what's happening to San Diego State.
The Pac-12's a mess, though. Why would you want to join the Pac-12 right now? You know, when you look at it, maybe they did their due diligence. Maybe they're trying to play both sides against each other, whatever they're trying to do. But, man, the Pac-12, Gonzaga would – I mean, what are they in Gonzaga's basketball conference? Because I know you were just talking that Mountain West. You got to think that the Mountain West Conference would be better than the Pac-12 now, especially with UCLA and USC gone. Well, UCLA's a powerhouse still, but
part
they're
of the
gone.
craziness about Gonzaga is that they're talking potentially about joining the Big 12 for basketball only. You know, but Gonzaga doesn't have football.
Yeah, they got baseball program though. I think
they do, and Arkansas has played them before. It's a pretty good baseball program.
Yeah.
Got a good women's basketball team too.
The Big 12 for Gonzaga basketball, yeah.
Right.
Wow,
Yeah.
that Mountain West, man, that's a good conference right there.
It's a good conference, but if you lose the marquee member, it denigrates the rest of the conference. That's kind of, honestly, in a sense, losing Oklahoma.
They're kind of a one
Big
horse.
12.
Yeah, you're right.
The school that's ruled it would be akin to like Kansas leaving the Big 12.
You could get UNLV, you could get Boise State, you can get San Diego State, you could get Utah. I mean, you could make a good West Coast conference, a good West Conference out there if they would do it right. But they're just all going in different directions.
Well, and they still don't know the amount of money they're going to make as far as it's concerned. And it's just not, I lived in California for almost a year. And lived in Northern California. Well, what they call Northern California. It's really the middle of the state. Northern California, really, if you look at the geography, is Redding, way up by the Oregon border. What they call Northern California, San Francisco, Oakland, that's kind of the middle of the state. But either way, I digress. I really wanted to get into the Cal-Stanford rivalry, which they call the game.
Yeah.
It was one of the
bands on the field.
Famous
the
ending
bands
in
on
the
the
history
field
of sports, truly. Yeah. And I didn't know how long I was going to live there. Maybe I was going to stay there my whole life when I moved there. So I was like, I want to get into this thing. I couldn't get into it. There just wasn't the passion behind it, even the sort of passion that I remembered from being around Pitt football, when Pitt was good and they had rivalries with Notre Dame and Penn State and West Virginia. It wasn't quite the same. College sports on the West Coast, it just doesn't have the intensity, or even the West, I think. Just take the coast away from it. Utah's a little different in Salt Lake. I think that's a little different. That's why that school, to me, feels a little bit different than like a Stanford.
That atmosphere. Yeah, Utah
USC.
seems like a place I'd want to go visit. Or, yeah, like that, to go watch a Utah football game or basketball game. They do seem like they have a decent atmosphere.
That's a place to me that's got some cachet.
Yeah.
They would have a little cachet. But I'm really just intrigued by the thought of San Diego State, a marquee member of a conference for right now, and it's a year until they'd have to leave. But this will be a really interesting thing to follow. In the last 2 years, we've had all this announcing of switching of conferences, not the actual switching of conferences in a lot of cases, but the announcements of it. And it was just a couple of days ago that the moves were made, those schools in the American. And this is tough to keep up with sometimes. The schools that were in the American Conference moved to the Big 12 now. So what schools are that? That's Cincinnati, UCF, forgetting some of them. But, I mean, there's 4 of those schools that moved into the Big 12. That just happened. And the Conference USA schools like North Texas and Rice, they just now have become
Houston,
members.
Memphis, yeah.
Houston and Memphis.
Yeah.
No, Memphis is not in the Big 12.
Well, they're in the American Athletic Conference with Cincinnati.
Right. So Cincinnati, Houston, BYU, and UCF are now Big 12 members. That just happened. They announced it a year ago.
Last year, yeah.
We've had none of those announcements now, none of the big announcements of a school moving out of a Power 5 league into another one. And I guess this is the offseason where you're not going to get that. Next year, I just feel it will start up. It'll kind of start up again in the sense of the Pac-12. They do sign their media rights. They're going to make sure that they sign something akin to what the ACC schools did of this grant of rights, which is the only thing that has held the ACC together over the last year and a half. I'm sure that the Pac-12 is going to have to figure that out. And then we're over here in the SEC. Just like, yeah, everything's doing all right. Though some people think that the contract that the SEC signed with ESPN, what was it, for $300 million 3 or 4 years ago?
They've already outperformed it.
Well, that they left some money on the table because the Big Ten has the $1 billion contract, and they're going to be able to renegotiate 2 or 3 years before the SEC can renegotiate with ESPN.
Well, good. So whenever the Big Ten renegotiates, it's like these teams who you keep getting sold for, and how another billion, that next contract to be outrageous.
All I know is that a lot of these rights deals that are being negotiated, once they're finally finished, we don't have to worry about that stuff for a long, long time. That's a good thing, too.
Just stay off Amazon Prime.
What about when it's Prime Day? That's coming up in like 6 or 7 days.
Stay out of Hot Topic and stay off of streaming your stuff on Amazon Prime for your sporting events.
I'll stay out of Hot Topic. I'll get on Amazon Prime, though. That thing helps me out a little bit.
Fair enough.
We'll step aside for a break, and joining us on the McClarty Daniel Hotline next is Bill King from Nashville Sports Radio. It's halftime, and we'll be right back.
And even now I sit and wonder why.
Video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Call or text the McClarty Daniel Hotline at 877-377-6963. McClarty Daniel, a vehicle for every lifestyle.
Welcome to McClarty Daniel Country.
With 6 giant locations and over 3,000 vehicles, Northwest Arkansas is McClarty Daniel Country. Stop by one of our showrooms today to shop our full lineup of cars, trucks, and SUVs.
McClarty Daniel is proud to be your premier automotive destination.
Need service? We work on all makes and models 6 days a week. Plus, our full-service collision center can repair anything, from a minor ding to a major collision. Have you visited McClarty Daniel Country?
Visit us online at McClartyDaniel.com.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland,
America's favorite, white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
Rockwell and Orwell are both known for their work from 1984. It's no conspiracy that somebody's watching me, because the terms and agreements that no one reads is the reason there's no privacy. Big tech is tracking every move you make and is starting to control society and how you participate. Absolute power corrupts absolutely, and Revelation 13 describes a mark for those who fall for this utopian dream. I'm Pastor Eve from Woodland. Read about it.
BetOnline is your #1 source for all your betting needs. Get the latest odds, lines, and matchup reports for baseball, boxing, golf, and more. BetOnline continues to be the fastest and easiest way to place your wagers, including live betting and your favorite casino and card games available to play right from your phone. Head to the website or use your mobile device to sign up today and get in on the action. Remember to use our promo code BELIEVE, that's BLEAV, for your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Bet online, where the game starts.
Looking for an African adventure without the hassle of planning? Kruger Safari Club has got you covered. Our custom hunting and safari packages take care of everything from transportation to accommodations, so you can focus on enjoying the experience of a lifetime. With our team's extensive knowledge of the best hunting and safari spots in South Africa, Mozambique, and Zimbabwe, you'll have access to some of the most breathtaking views and exciting game hunting opportunities on the planet. And with our commitment to ethical hunting and giving back to the local community, you'll know that your trip with us is making a positive impact. Book your trip now and let us take care of the rest. Find out more at KrugerSafariClub.com.
Are you looking for the best Razorbacks insight and analysis?
Hell yeah.
How about listening to an Arkansas football legend?
Matt Jones, all he does is make big plays.
What's the voice of the Hogs have to say?
Hey, what a great crowd last night.
Don't forget about the Omahogs.
The Hogs are going to Omaha.
Matt Jones, Chuck Barrett, and Phil Elson, the best in the business, on the Hit That Line Podcast Network. Go to hitthatline.com or search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts. Don't forget to rate, review, subscribe, and share.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
She didn't care, but anyway, I tried last week for to call her, she wasn't home, but anyway, I think I'll spend my life, but Lord, I really don't care right now. But anyway, the state of affairs and the state of emotion, the kind of thing that you must understand. I'll tell you one thing, you tell me, and then we walk away, maybe then shake hands.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Want to jump in the conversation? Call or text ESPN Arkansas on the McClarty Daniel hotline, 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Time to talk with the king of college football talk, Bill King from Nashville Sports Radio, our friend joining us every Wednesday here. 4-day holiday. Bill, I know you had a 4-day holiday, too, without a radio show. And I think for people like us, sometimes we're like, what the hell am I going to do with myself? So what the hell did you do with yourself?
I don't really remember. I cooked a bunch of ribs yesterday and piddled in the yard some. That was about it, guys. I don't take vacation hardly ever, so I'm not used to 4 days straight off. That was a little weird for me.
Were you pleased with the ribs? And are you your own hardest critic when it comes to what you're grilling?
Yeah, but everybody else, they are the critics, right? 7 kids, the wifey, everything else. But on the pellet grill that I've got, I mean, that thing probably could fly you to Hawaii. It's so fancy. So it'd be hard. The only way to screw that up is just to walk off and forget for a day. That's the only way you could mess that up.
So then what is this month for you? You know, you do a show that is focused heavily on college football. You'll mix in some basketball, a little college baseball. But in the month of July, you know, you haven't had the media days yet. And I know you're not into the media days too much, you know, but there's research to do, looking ahead for what the season will look like. You're 2 months away. I think in some cases they're 7 weeks away from games. So what does the month of July mean to you?
It's no different than anything else. There's always stuff to talk about. Always. The San Diego State story with the Mountain West and all that is hilarious. We spent 20 minutes on that this morning. And there's always some news about a recruit. You got recruiting news from this past weekend. Some pretty key names making decisions across the country. And whatever else comes up. It's a highly interactive show. So anything can come up during the show, and we pretty much just let it go any way it wants. Now, once you get into the games, guys, these shows write themselves, right? Because you got the game you just played, and you got the game you're about to play, and that sustains you from September all the way through December. But this time of year is fun. I love the non-playing portion of the season because there's so much more latitude that we have.
You brought up the thing with San Diego State. Our last segment, that's what that was about. And Matt Jones, I think, put it as perfect as possible. San Diego State is the athlete that went into the transfer portal and might not have anywhere to go.
Yeah, here's the thing. The only thing about it is that's a very attractive school for the Mountain West. And I think it would be attractive for the Big 12 to jump on right now. It's a very good athletic department. It's in San Diego. You're around tons of players. And the Mountain West is playing hardball, and I don't blame them because they have leverage here. And basically they've told San Diego State, you're homeless. After this year, you're homeless. If I am Brett Yormark, I am all over this because I think you got to remember their payout due to Mountain West affiliations is about $6.5 million, which is being withheld as part of the fee, the exit fee. Big 12 pays about 40 with their new contract, probably 40 to 42 million. I think you could get them for 50 cents on the dollar. I think you could get them for 20 million a year. I'd bring them in and say, now we've now got San Diego. I would. I'd jump on that in a second.
I would too, Bill. I agree with you there. What's so attractive though that made them think that they wanted to go to the? I would be staying away from the Pac-12. What is attracted them to just they want to get out of the Mountain West?
Well, you got to remember the Pac-12. Even if they get a horrible media deal, it'll still be triple what they get in the Mountain West. You know, and you could say you're in the Pac-12, which is sexy, even though Southern Cal, UCLA will be gone. So wherever they go, if they had the opportunity to go, it's still going to be much better financially than where you're at. And, man, I mean, that basketball team was phenomenal this last year. You know they can be good in baseball. They can be good in football. It's an attractive place, and you're close to a whole lot of athletes. They can't all go to UCLA and USC, and now you could sell maybe that you're in the Big 12. Now, I don't know if anything's going on there, but I'd be all over that, guys. And I guess they thought they had all the power, and when nothing was happening with the Pac-12, and then you've got that June 30th date that you've got to alert them by or stay in the league, I think they panicked and thought, okay, well, we better reverse course here. And the Mountain West said, we've got you marked down as gone, and we have your money too. How about that?
Man, the more I think about it, I think you're right about the Big 12 because they're trying to be a nationwide conference. Heck, I mean, they're reaching into Mexico. They're sending Houston and Kansas down there to play conference basketball games in 2 seasons. You know, Yormark has talked about having a presence at Rucker Court, the legendary, blacktop basketball court in New York City. They're talking about getting UConn, talking about Gonzaga coming in for basketball, and that would actually be a good partner for San Diego State. You know, San Diego State will have football, but Gonzaga's got all the other sports that they could play in the Big 12. I think you're right about that.
And I think I'm pretty sure you could get them for 50 cents on the dollar. There's no rule says you have to have an equal cut. I think you could do that.
Another thing I'd seen, Florida is going to pour $400 million into, I would assume it's essentially building a new stadium at Florida Field. Now, Arkansas plays in Gainesville in November, and I haven't been there for a football game, but I've been there to run the steps. And for as good of a program as Florida's had, and I know they've hit a patch of mediocrity here, but they do stand to be a giant under the right situation. That is, it's not a great football. It's probably a great place to watch a game, but it has zero amenities. And when I read about the Jacksonville Jaguars looking for a place to play 2 seasons while they rebuild their stadium and that Gainesville might be a thing, when I've been inside, that is not a place to host NFL football at all. But $400 million will build you a nice college football stadium for sure.
Oh, yeah. Tennessee announced they're putting close to $100 million into Lindsey Nelson, which is not one of the more – that's bottom half bare minimum in the league when you talk about attractive facilities. There's a lot of money out there, guys, and it costs a lot of money. And the problem is, or the catch is, if you wait, the way construction costs are just skyrocketing. I mean, literally, you wait a month, that's a different price, right? You better get your price down right now if you're going to do it.
And do it while you got the donations coming in, too, that aren't going to collectives, although things have changed a little bit. Do you think, see where the IRS decided or came out with the decision recently that donations to NIL collectives are not tax deductible? I mean, do you think that this puts a dent in donations to NIL collectives? Because there's still, I think there's a lot of schools where the money's going to the collectives instead of the foundations.
Yes, but I don't know what percentage. I've yet to see what percentage of these collectives have promised. We do know some have that, hey, we want your money. We'd love to have your money, and it's tax deductible. They sold that, which is very attractive at that point, and that turns out to be a no-go by the IRS. Not everybody's doing that, but some of the collectives were, and if you did, that's a huge mistake. Now you got a problem on your hand. We just don't know the percentages. I thought it was interesting when On3 came out last week, ranking the various collectives across the country. It was like 1 through 20 guys. I don't know if you saw it, but pretty interesting.
I got it. Well, who do you think? What's the school that generates the most support from a collective at the top of your?
There's 5 of them, about 5 of them that stand out. Tennessee is right there. They were ranked number 1 the last 2 times, the last 2 years on 3. It's called the Spires Group. Despite the Jaden Rashada thing, Florida has a very powerful collective. They're somewhere in the top 5. Georgia's in the top 5. Ohio State is. And I would say the other one was A&M.
Yeah, A&M, I see they're 3rd on the list here.
Shocking, huh?
Yeah, shocking, exactly. I saw where they landed Cameron Coleman, top wide receiver recruit in the 2024 class. This has got to be the year that the recruiting rankings start to equal wins for A&M.
Right.
But, I mean, they've got I'm assuming they've got the right offensive coordinator to work with Jimbo Fisher. But there's a disconnect between the rankings and the amount of success there. But they continue to – I mean, A&M actually looks like they might be set up for a pretty good year.
And, man, just loaded guys with dudes on the D-line. I mean, loaded with NFL dudes. And this – you're right. I mean, this should be – I'm not saying you need to win the West, but you need to show that you are a very significant threat, bare minimum. I would think.
I got them going last to first. I would not be surprised if A&M, they were 2-6 last year in the SEC West. I mean, would not be surprised if they go 6-2 and win a share of the West. Are we still doing the West and the East this next year?
This is the last year.
The last year.
Got 1 year left, man. I mean, they've got the talent to do that, and like I said, Alabama has to answer questions at quarterback, O-line, wide receiver, pass rushers, interior defensive linemen, athleticism at linebacker, and I think a couple positions coverage-wise in the secondary. Now, they've got players, they probably answer all of them, but right now it's getting it time if you're a competitor. LSU showed us that.
Well, what about LSU? They've got this thing going where second-year head coaches have won 2 national championships this year. It's Brian Kelly's second season. They're the reigning champions of the division. Any chance LSU has a chance to repeat?
Yeah. I think so. They're going to be well off at quarterback. They're solid to pretty good at wide receiver. The diva that they had at wide receiver is gone, which is good, the Boutte kid. Pretty good at running back. O-line has a bunch of physicality and size, and the defensive front, Mason Smith's back, who's an All-American type when he's healthy. Remember, he blew his knee immediately last year. And they've got the Harold Perkins kid, who's good looking a young freshman linebacker as anybody in America had. Yeah, they're going to be picked probably number 2 when everybody gets to Nashville in a couple of weeks. They'll be picked number 2 in the West.
All right, last thing, and I'll let you go, and this is a baseball deal. Obviously everybody thinks that Paul Skeens or Dylan Cruz will go 1 and 2. There's Max Clark potentially as well. He's a prep outfielder from Franklin, Indiana. I think he's committed to Vanderbilt. Perfect Game has the Pirates selecting him over Skeens and Cruz. Now you had told me last week that you think Cruz doesn't want to go to Pittsburgh, so he won't sign. And I'm over here like, please pick Skeens. Pretty please pick Skeens. But let me ask you that: who would you take in this case? Do you want the outfielder, the guy that can play 5, every game for you, or do you want a pitcher like Skeens? Pitchers are always going to be riskier, but he looks like he's got a generational arm.
If I had to pick, understanding the pressure of if it doesn't work, I'm going to get destroyed in the media, and I'm going to look, the shareholders, the money people, my boss, they're going to be mad at me. I'll take Skeens. I'm riding with that. You're talking about a 6'6", 6'7" guy, throws 103, has 4 pitches, throws all those pitches for strikes, and throws none of them down the middle of the plate. I don't know what else you want. I just don't know what else you need.
I'm right there with you, man. That's the guy that I want Pittsburgh to draft.
Oh, heck yeah.
But they'll find a way to screw it up. I'm sure they will. Bill, appreciate you, man. Thanks for coming on, as always.
All right, guys. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Bill.
Bill King from Nashville Sports Radio joining us on Halftime every Wednesday. King of college football talk. He is the prince of the grill. He's not a prince of the grill because this guy's like, when you're making meat for 7 kids 4 days in a row.
And he can realign the Big 12 for you. You figured that out. We got it done. Yeah.
Some of us only have 24 hours in the day. I think Bill has 26. We've got another half hour left on Halftime. And the McLarty Daniel hotline is open for you at 877-377-6963. You can see all of the inventory at McLartyDaniel.com, and Halftime is back after this quick break.
Video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Call or text the McLarty Daniel hotline at 877-377-6963. McLarty Daniel, a vehicle for every lifestyle.
Welcome to McLarty Daniel Country.
With 6 giant locations and over 3,000 vehicles, Northwest Arkansas is McLarty Daniel Country. Stop by one of our showrooms today to shop our full lineup of cars, trucks, and SUVs.
McLarty Daniel is proud to be your premier automotive destination.
Need service? We work on all makes and models 6 days a week. Plus, our full-service collision center can repair anything, from a minor ding to a major collision. Have you visited McLarty Daniel Country?
Visit us online at McLartyDaniel.com.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse.
Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappie.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
Rockwell and Orwell are both known for their work from 1984. It's no conspiracy that somebody's watching me, because the terms and agreements that no one reads is the reason there's no privacy. Big tech is tracking every move you make and is starting to control society and how you participate. Absolute power corrupts absolutely, and Revelation 13 describes a mark for those who fall for this utopian dream. I'm Pastor Eve from Woodland. Read about it.
BetOnline is your number one source for all your betting needs. Get the latest odds, lines, and matchup reports for baseball, boxing, golf, and more. BetOnline continues to be the fastest and easiest way to place your wagers, including live betting and your favorite casino and card games available to play right from your phone. Head to the website or use your mobile device to sign up today and get in on the action. Remember to use our promo code BELIEVE, that's BLEAV, for your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Bet online, where the game starts.
Looking for an African adventure without the hassle of planning? Kruger Safari Club has got you covered. Our custom hunting and safari packages take care of everything from transportation to accommodations, so you can focus on enjoying the experience of a lifetime. With our team's extensive knowledge of the best hunting and safari spots in South Africa, Mozambique, and Zimbabwe, you'll have access to some of the most breathtaking views and exciting game hunting opportunities on the planet. And with our commitment to ethical hunting and giving back to the local community, you'll know that your trip with us is making a positive impact. Book your trip now and let us take care of the rest. Find out more at KrugerSafariClub.com.
Are you looking for the best Razorbacks insight and analysis?
Hell yes.
How about listening to an Arkansas football legend?
Matt Jones, all he does is make big plays.
What's the voice of the Hogs have to say?
Hey, what a great crowd last night.
Don't forget about the Omahogs.
The Hogs are going to Omaha.
Matt Jones, Chuck Barrett, and Phil Elson, the best in the business, on the Hit That Line Podcast Network. Go to hitthatline.com or search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts. Don't forget to rate, review, subscribe, and share.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated.
Riders on the storm. Riders on the storm. Into this house we're born. Into this world we're thrown. Like a dog without a bone, an actor out alone. Riders on the storm. There's a killer on the road. His brain is squirming like a toad. Take a long holiday. Let your children play.
Find Halftime on 99.5 in Northwest Arkansas, 95.3 in Fort Smith and the River Valley, 96.3 in Hot Springs and Central Arkansas, 104.3 in Harrison and Mountain Home, and everywhere on hitthatline.com. Join the conversation. Call or text ESPN Arkansas on the McClarty Daniel Hotline, 877-377-6963. Now back to the hosts. Here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Well, we're taking you into the home stretch here on halftime. Be careful out there if you're in our Fort Smith listening audience. You got some nasty stuff right around you right now. And if you're heading up from the junction of I-40 and I-49, it is nasty there, too.
It's definitely spitting sideways.
Robert in Fayetteville, you're on halftime. Thanks for the phone call. Robert's on the McClarty Daniel hotline right now. What's up, Robert?
Well, I got a question for you. You touched on the stadium situation. I've been to the Swamp many times, and you're right. That stadium needs a facelift really badly. It's big and it's loud, but you're right. The amenities there are non-existent almost. I want to know something about Arkansas, though. We're going to spend $100 million on a basketball arena that, frankly, honest with you, I think our basketball arena is fine. I don't know why we don't spend some money on the west side of the football stadium and fix that dump. because the west side of the stadium is just horrible compared to the rest of the stadium. It's just dirty and nasty under there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I think I understand what you're talking about. It looks like rust stains almost in some cases, right?
Well, underneath it's all dark and dank and dirt exposed, and the walkways are real narrow, and you're overlooking 3 or 4 levels down below you. It's just really, they need to spend some money on the west side of the stadium.
I agree with you about Bud Walton, but the reason they're doing that is for the corporate money. They'll pay off that money in 2 years of season suites tickets. But I do like Bud Walton.
I agree with you. I'm wholeheartedly in your corner on that, and I understand you want to try and raise some money. But guess what? The people on the west side of the stadium are paying a premium too. The elevator there, you guys have ridden on that elevator. You know what that thing's like. That thing was built in, 1974 or something? I mean, it's slow. It's the west side of the football stadium is in desperate need of some work.
Well, we've got a bar going into the north end up on the top, that big red bar. But
the west side's getting ignored.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, is that where you sit, Robert?
I don't really get to sit. I'm working on game days. I'm never in the stadium on game days. I'm about a half a mile down the road on game days. I don't get to go to games.
Yeah, they went north, south, and now they're going back to the north again because they had the big jumbotron. They did the south, the renovations there, and now they're going back to the north side again. Yeah, they're leaving the west side out.
Look, I'll say this about Bud Walton. I love the atmosphere inside the arena.
You're going to lose some of that atmosphere, Phil. When you add the corporate suits in there, that's what I'm telling. That's why I don't like it. We're going to lose some of that home court advantage for a little bit of money.
He's absolutely right. And they had even talked about taking the upper deck out at one time, which I never understood that. But I'm sorry to bring it back. I agree with him wholeheartedly about Bud Walton. Bud Walton Arena rocks the way it is. It's a well-built facility. I used to work in Bud Walton, and the guys from Walmart shareholders meeting that would come in and do the sound in that room always bragged about how the acoustics were just so fantastic. The way it was built, you don't have the echo. They always wanted to record in that arena because the acoustics were just that good. Because the upper side of the arena where that chain link fence is built to let sound escape. It doesn't reverberate back inside the building. That's why you don't get a headache when you're in there.
Well, the thing with Bud Walton Arena, it was a basketball arena built for basketball and for nothing else.
Yep.
You can't say that about a lot of other arenas. It was also built for the shareholders meeting. I mean, that's the only other annual event that's held there. Outside of now, what are there? They had 2 gymnastics meets last season, 1 the year before. You still need new seats outside of any other kind of renovations, independent of building new suites, new walkways and a new museum or that kind of things. The seats are original. It still feels a little cramped in some areas. I think you could expand the lobby of the concourse. And I do think, look, there are other things that people don't see when you're a fan inside the arena. It is cramped underneath it. And if there is a need to use an arena for other purposes, for concerts or any other reason, Northwest Arkansas gets passed over in a lot of cases because there isn't an indoor facility to be able to host things like that. Bud Walton could be that, but it isn't right now. I think the other aspect too, Robert, is again, this is independent of whether or not the west side of the football stadium needs a facelift. All the money that's been put into basketball facilities outside of the video board has been into the practice facility. Baseball has, they've had new suites built. They've had, and this goes to the conversation, Matt, about maybe losing a little bit of what makes the place special. When they rejiggered the seating arrangements for last season for baseball at Baum, and there were more, I guess you would just use the term corporate seats, around the dugouts and behind home plate. There were more, I think there were more no-shows this year. In fact, there was about a 51% no-show rate.
Corporate is just the West Coast. It's like, to me, it's like corporate. They're the giveaway tickets. They're for. It's for. I mean, I get the purpose of it, but the people that buy those season tickets and come in and cheer, the atmosphere will go down a little bit.
I still contend. I agree. Everything y'all are saying, I don't disagree with any of that. I do think, though, that Arkansas needs to take a serious look at the west side of the stadium. That's where Those tickets are harder to get, but your facility, the rest of the stadium is great, but the west side is a dump, and it needs to be fixed. Seriously needs some attention. So,
Robert, good to hear from you, man.
That's all I got to say.
No, I appreciate your phone call. It's Robert in Fayetteville in the McClarty Daniel hotline. He used the hotline as a comment card there.
Well, like you had the L.A., the U.S. Open out there at the L.A. Country Club, and it was mainly corporate, and that's what everybody's like. Nobody. It's just that people sit on your hands. You're not coming there because you're a fan. You're going because it's an event for your corporation, for your work or whatever, and you really just let to be entertained. You're not there to enjoy it that much.
Part of that would also be like how many quote-unquote regular person seats get removed to add space for corporate suites or corporate boxes. If there's 2,000 seats that get removed or 1,500 seats that get removed, that doesn't necessarily mean that the people that fill whatever seats are corporatized. The suites will be corporatized. The fans, the general admission areas.
And as long as you don't lose that sound, too. As long as you're not changing the structure too much, I think, where the flow, if it starts leaving, as long as you can keep that in there, I guess you're right. It wouldn't matter if you added a couple more.
I don't think it will necessarily ruin the home field, the home court advantage, unless you're taking away some of the seats that are right on the floor, right there where – And like Pitt did this before, where they put 4 suites behind the benches. And, man, it sounds like it would be a great idea, but it's a completely different kind of fan that sits there. It's a fan that is there for a conversation with whoever is there with them.
It's elevator music. The game's elevator music to them. You're right. You're going there to hang out and talk about stuff, where you're going to eat later, how'd the golf round go? Oh, good dunk. And then you just keep on going about your conversation.
877-377-6963 on the McClarty Daniel hotline for anything that you want to talk about involving that, because I do have a sense that's going to be a point of conversation over the next couple years or so. I know I think they continue to take steps to figure it out. We don't know how much money is being put into Bud Walton Arena yet. I don't think that's been decided, because there's still the options of, we'll just put in new seats, and just kind of like do a facelift, just a very small facelift. And then there's other options where you could, tear some things out, put some new things in, which would cost a lot more money. I don't think that's all been decided just yet. But for the Florida Gators, they are putting $400 million into what will have to be a total revamp of Florida Field.
They were ready. They're due. They were due for a new one.
That's just 4 slabs of concrete, and that's it. I mean, the seats feel like concrete.
Very basic stadium. It's very old school. It feels like it was built, in the 40s, and who knows when it was built. But it's it kind of reminds you a little bit of War Memorial, the way the shape is, the bowl shape, and it's all trapped in. Yeah.
And a lack of amenities at the same time.
First place I figured out there was a trough that you used the restroom in was at War Memorial. It's like, what is this? Oh, everybody lines up.
Did it have ice in it, or it was just a trough?
Just steam coming off. Yeah.
Now I sit on the west side of the. I don't sit. I'm in the west side of the stadium for the football games because I'm over on the. I'm in the booth. So the press box is on the west side, and it could it could use some work. I'm not going to tell you it couldn't. But I think they've put their money into the bar right now, and the whole north. He's right. The north end zone has changed. The south end zone has changed. The east has changed, and the west not so much. Halftime brought to you by our friends at Roller Funeral Homes. You have voted Roller Funeral Homes best of the best 23 consecutive years in the Democrat Gazette leadership poll because you recognize the Roller difference and know that when you call on Roller, you will receive all their respect. RollerFuneralHomes.com is the website. You can find all the information about life insurance policies, prepaid funerals, and cemetery markers. Meanwhile, we'll wrap halftime up after this.
Thunder, 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 feel the thunder, lightning and the thunder, thunder, feel the thunder, lightning and the thunder, thunder.
Are you looking for a change of scenery? Lavorne Lumber is looking to hire a Class A CDL flatbed driver for a regional position. Lavorne Lumber is highly competitive in pay. Lavorne Lumber is a family-owned lumber and trucking company. Home most nights and every single weekend. Guaranteed. Lavorne Lumber has top-of-the-line equipment. If you're interested in the job, stop by Lavorne Lumber at 515 Phoenix Avenue in Fort Smith Monday through Friday from 9 to 4.
This year, we considered hiring an ad agency to help with our marketing.
They pitched impressive visuals and a script that was inspiring.
And exotic animal mascots to help grab your attention.
In the end, we just decided to tell it to you straight. Shelter Insurance has award-winning customer service at affordable rates.
Plus, our local agents are there to help you understand what coverage you need.
Call Randy Milam in Alma or Brandon Zimmerman in Barley.
Whether you're opening your first checking account, purchasing your first home, saving for your first big vacation, or opening a new business, First Star Bank offers hometown service with the latest in digital banking technology. Our local team makes banking fast, convenient, and easy. From simple everyday banking to helping you fulfill your dreams, our team is here to guide you every step of the way. First Star Bank. We'll be there through all your firsts. Learn more at firststar.bank or stop by one of our local branches today. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Here's to you and yours from your friends at In Good Spirits, your upscale liquor store in Fort Smith. Hey, warmer weather is with us, and that means fun in the outdoors. Whether you're in the boat, onshore enjoying a picnic, or attending a family celebration, In Good Spirits can provide you with the tastiest adult beverages in town. And don't forget to treat yourself as you listen to the game. In Good Spirits, Highway 71 South across from Riley Farms in Fort Smith.
Elite Roofing is a locally owned roofing contractor. If you're building a new home or maybe need a new roof on your existing home, Elite Roofing can take care of you. Elite Roofing is known for their dependability and reliability. Just ask any of their satisfied customers. They are licensed and insured, and references are available upon request. If you need a roof, call your local roofing contractors. Elite Roofing, 478-8668. That's 478-8668. Elite Roofing, 478-8668.
Joe's Grill and Cantina is making the middle of the week something to look forward to. Wednesdays is Nacho Average Wednesday. Get $1 off all nachos every Wednesday and try the all-new ballpark-style pork nachos. And draft or bottled beers are $1 off. Every Thursday is Throwback Thursday. Enjoy some of the old Cuco's classic platters, just the way you remember them. Joe's Grill and Cantina. Great Tex-Mex, even better service. 3400 South 74th Street, across from Harps in Fort Smith.
What's up, JD? I love what you do with cars. 7 straight years of the best detail here in the River Valley.
Thanks, Matt. You should come check out our Cars and Coffee. Every first Saturday of the month at JD's River Valley Restoration, we're going to do a Cars and Coffee. 5606 Towson. Come check out Queen Bean's Espresso on the lot.
What separates you from all the other detail companies in the River Valley?
Quality and consistency is what keeps bringing our customers back. But most importantly, it's the customer service that matters the most to us.
My ride looks brand new.
JD's River Valley Restoration, where we're making new relationships one vehicle at a time.
Are you needing new tires? Are you short on cash? Van Alma Tire can help you get back on the road. Come by Van Alma Tire and apply for caffeine. It only takes minutes to get approved, and you can get the tire or the service you need to get your vehicle back on the road. Top-of-the-line tires, brake service, and more. Van Alma Tire is here to help you. Located on Highway 64 between Van Buren and Alma. Must be 18 or older. Valid ID. Active checking account and income at least $1,000 per month.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
I'm just a normal boy that sank when I fell overboard. My ship would leave the country, but I'd rather swim ashore. Without a life vest, I'd be stuck again. Wish I was much more masculine. Maybe then I could learn to swim like 14 miles away. Now floating up and down, I spin colliding into sound. Like whales beneath me diving down, I'm sinking to the bottom of my everything that freaks me out. The lighthouse gleam has just run out. I'm cold as cold can be. I wanna swim away but don't know how. Sometimes it feels just like I'm falling in the ocean. Let the waves up take me down. Let the hurricane set in motion. Yeah, let the rain of what I feel right now come down.
listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Want to jump in the conversation? Call or text ESPN Arkansas on the McClarty Daniel hotline, 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
You know, Bet Saracen had a one better, had 3 Ricky Fowler wins over the weekend, netted $97,000 in total payouts. How about that? Pretty solid weekend for you to win $97,000 on the Bet Saracen app, thanks to Ricky Fowler's win in the Rocket Mortgage Classic. Celebrate a weekend like that, no doubt about it. You can get some winners yourself. Major League Baseball specials are up right now on the Bet Saracen app. They've got Wimbledon Day 4 singles specials, WNBA specials. Also, make sure to get a look and see the Major League Baseball draft specials. Any Major League Baseball game also available on the Bet Saracen app. Good for your Apple iPhone, any Google Android phone, any web browser as well at betsaracen.com. And a very happy birthday to our friend Neil Atkinson, who joins us on Fridays from Bet Saracen. Oh, let's see. The great Jason in Fayetteville texted in about and he's been a season ticket holder at Baum since 2010. He says the fan atmosphere will never be the same due to the quote-unquote corporate invasion. And it was still a great atmosphere this last year at Baum, but it felt a little bit dialed down from the year before. And I think that's what's going to happen when there is such a large shift in who is sitting around home plate and around the dugouts. And look, this just happens. I remember when growing up in Pittsburgh and the Penguins made it big. When they finally made it big, won a couple of the Stanley Cups, the ticket prices shot up, and the atmosphere wasn't quite as good as it used to be. It just wasn't. And I think that was the case at Baum. And you also have some no-shows, 51% no-show rate. If my math on Matt Jones's Whole Hog article last week was correct, 9,762 paid, and he got the FOIA request in. They had an average actual attendance of 4,806. So that's a no-show rate of 51%. You got to get that to change.
Well, you get 12 tickets per suite or 8 tickets per suite, and a lot of times you kind of divvy them up, and somebody it's just it's an eclectic group. A lot of times it's just a weird deal, and when you're not really going with the dog in the fight, you just kind of sit on your hands. You hang out with your buddy. That's just background. It's just there, and then you're like, hey, that was a good play, or hey, we ought to do this again. But it's off to the next thing that we're doing.
Got an idea. We got to do this again. Let's do this again tomorrow. What do you say?
I mean, I keep showing up until they tell me not to show up anymore. It's like,
well, if you're there at 11 o'clock and Matt Travis is too, then
I'll be here.
I'll do the same. We can do this again tomorrow. It should be a lot of fun.
It's not like I have anything better to do.
Anything you missed today, the Eastside Liquor Halftime Podcast coming out shortly, and Ruskin and Zach will take you up until 7 o'clock. We'll talk with you tomorrow on Halftime. For Matt Jones and Matt Travis, I'm Phil. Have a great rest of your Wednesday, and get up, get out, and get better.